man Serial saying this is swanky. Yeah, this is swanky.
What does that even mean?
This
Swanky.
is
What's
the
that? What? Yes, I mean about putting it in there.
It's swanky.
No,
you know?
did you see what he did?
It's trendy.
This is swanky.
He's crossed over. Serial crossed over.
I picked that up from my mom, actually. When my mom wants to stress something, she says, so funny.
Yeah. Mothers have that,
Yeah,
right?
mothers have
Yeah.
that. Say, oh, that your shirt you were wearing is so nice. And I know that the shirt was part. They call my mom fine lady.
Okay.
Because everything is so fine.
Man, how could you not start a show like this? Good morning, and welcome to Culture Daily. Welcome to Plus 899 FM as well. I want to say shout out to this guy yesterday, this Bolt biker. Yeah, I think Bolt package biker who came by the studios yesterday outside, and then he was like, Charlie, I didn't listen to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
He was so excited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you know, so basically, look, we love you out there as well, and be like that bold guy who just came and says we love you. Just go on social media if you can't reach us in our offices. You know, you're too far away from us and you're doing the listening. Show us some love this morning. Yeah, show us some love. Let's feel your energy. Just jump onto our socials and let's get the communication going on. Anyway, welcome to the show. So, guys, how was last night?
All correct.
Yeah, did you sleep at home?
I did, though. I always sleep at home.
I didn't ask how often you sleep at home. I just said, did you sleep at home?
Yes, I slept at home yesterday. I slept at home over the weekend. I'll sleep at home today. I'll sleep at home tomorrow. I'll sleep at home for the rest of the week. Let me answer them.
You are what you are doing. You are digging the whole stuff.
How am I
I'm
digging?
on your side. Look at me.
Okay.
Zip, right? Did you sleep at home?
I did.
We've closed.
Okay.
Jay, continue your show. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Anyway, let me say shouts to Dakwa. She made a swing by yesterday. We had a good chat in our office, and she's been talking about her music as well. You know, Dakwa. And I mean, she just brought about something that was very important we're going to be talking about today.
You know,
and,
Dakwa's PR is here, right?
Yeah, like shouts to Jessie, you know, yeah. Jessie's been doing an amazing job, you know. Yeah, well, many artists like Dakwa herself, you know, always end up falling in between that decision where they have to either go for an EP or they have to go for an album. And what are the dynamics between releasing an EP and an album? What's the difference? What are you trying to achieve? This is the focus of our discussion this morning on the show. I don't know, Surya, would you drop an EP or an album?
In 2022, an EP.
Why?
Because the focus has changed. Albums used to be based on the creative expression and depth and what you're really trying to communicate and show the more artistic side of your music talent. But now, music careers have moved from sustaining attention, so creating that art, to sustaining attention. So if you want to sustain attention, 4 or 5 tracks on an EP is enough. You get it? It's like the same way we have reels. There's no point doing a stand-up comedy anymore. You can be a comedian and do reels.
Short form. But I mean, people are still doing the long form content.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
I think it depends more on the artist rather than whether it's an album or EP. Because Black Sherif's album, I mean, that's a typical example. I know that we've anticipated the album for so long, but it's doing really well, right? And Burna Boy has given us also back-to-back albums, and I think that's like a very typical example.
I think for me, an album right now is just, you know, too much work. That's how I see that.
Really?
Because the dynamics of the world has changed. Yesterday on the show, we're honored to have Desire and Leah join us, and Desire being the parent or the mom of Leah, because we're talking about
momager.
About momagers. Yeah, you know, parents stepping into their kids' life, especially to manage their talent. And she broke the norm by saying to us that, look, she doesn't want her child to go to university because she's identified her skill and her skill set and wants to grow it now, you know, than taking her into university and learning something that she might not necessarily be interested in. And for me, it just brought the realization of how things are changing in the world.
I mean, that is very profound.
So in consuming music now, like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, an EP is like a quicker way for me to connect with you, understand your vibe, understand your focus, and I don't need too much of you because I'll get bored.
Which I agree to, but then again, it's happening and people are consuming.
We have too much
So
access.
having albums then will mean that people have more interest in the artist and want to listen to what they have. But if you don't have that much interest in the artist, then you just want to, be fast with the listening and then move on.
So you create an album when you have your fan base. When you are sure there's 5 million people waiting for you, then you create an album for your fans.
That's like another. Anyway, we'll be having a conversation on this later on in our studio 899, where a specialist will join us this morning to elaborate and talk more, just get inside, give us in-depth knowledge and understanding behind the strategies of release of EPs and album, as well as how consumers consume EPs and album. Let me say good morning and shouts to Gidochi, yo, he's got this mad EP. I forgot the title though. Like, it is crazy.
I should listen to it. When you remember the title, let us know. We'll listen, won't we?
Or jam.
Yeah.
We'll jump to it. And also shout out to Kitty, who made a pass through recently, last week Friday. He dropped his brand new EP, Foreplay. Lenny was asking about the foreplay. See how Lenny
was lying. The answer he gave, I don't believe it.
You don't.
The foreplay is foreplay. The foreplay, no.
It's foreplay. Right? It's what it is. That's why I'm thinking it to me.
Talking Kitty and talking sports, he said Arsenal was going to whoop Liverpool, and yes, it happened. So I tweeted at him, I said, I know somebody's very happy right now, and that'll be Kitty. After... But you're not a Liverpool fan, so if they whoop
Cyril is not enthused about this conversation.
I'm a Manchester United fan, so if we are not talking about Man U and how we can get our glory back, please.
But even if you are talking about Man U and how you guys are losing, how about that?
Oh, babe, why are you shouting at me?
Well, yes, so from sports, we'll bring you more updates on what's happening. But I mean, hey, no, Cyril, just real quick, what are we looking at with sports?
Oh, we're looking at social media gone wrong.
Oh, my days.
Yeah, especially in such a polarized gender world. And then we also have an issue of whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo is at his apex, whether or not he has peaked. Can we get a better C-row next year? Because they're thinking about moving him all the way from Europe. I won't tell you where he's
going.
But
I just read, I think on Sunday, that he had scored his 700th goal of his entire career. It's not?
Because Messi is just 9 goals behind him. And for Messi, that's probably 3 matches away. So as much as he's winning now, quote unquote, it's not like he's at 700 and Messi is at 400.
Right.
It's probably a stats thing. He's probably had more outings that has allowed him to score more goals than Messi has had. But should Messi catch up on plays, his conversion rate is higher than Messi's conversion rate, goals per match is higher than Cyril's. So assuming they were all to play 10 matches in the next few months,
Messi will be ahead of him. Right.
Well, that's some crazy analysis there. I don't know what you're waiting for, but it catch Cyril as he scores more goals with Sports Direct this morning on the show. But real quickly, Unpacking, what's cooking up there?
Well, this one story really interests me, and is on Madonna. I'll be bringing it to you, especially in today's day and time where, people are all, pokey into people's businesses as to who is part of the LGBTQ community and whatnot. This one really interests me. So I'm going to be bringing you that and more on Unpacking.
Well, on that note, let's start the show with some good music. Well, this is our song of the day.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clowmania. Make some noise. They love them. They love them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Death.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty,
and everyone else. And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been, though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but body sweeter. Hey, hey, hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go feel be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. A long way.
Inspiring music, if you ask me. Something to just kick off our good morning like this one, and that's Stormzy featuring Mnek, Blinded by Your Grace. I like it, and that's Amen, Hallelujah.
Amen, Amen. Now he performed the song at the Global Citizen Festival, and he has, a little story behind it where he says that whoever he is today is because of the grace of God, and he's never shy to let anybody know. And then right after he said that, he performed the song, which was really, really good. I mean, most people were...
He's not shy?
To acknowledge God as, his source of, being where he is now is by the grace of God. You know that people, don't do that a lot.
Yeah,
exactly.
Religion is kind of,
but I feel like telling the world about what you do every morning. Like she's very religious. Like Lenny's very religious.
Yeah.
Every morning she
I'm
does
not
her prayer
religious.
time.
I'm not religious.
You're not religious.
I'm spiritual. There's a difference,
sorry, she's spiritual. She's has
there
spirits.
There is a difference.
She has spirits in her.
So your babe is always in the zone.
Yes. I mean, I give her religious. She says no, she's spiritual.
I'll choose that over religion any day.
Your body is embedded with spirits.
Yeah.
Different kinds of spirits.
I'll take that.
That's do things.
I'll take that. I'll take that 100%.
Yes.
Over being religious, because religion is a bit, boxed.
Too organized.
Right? Exactly. It's just boxed. Quite myopic. If you're going to stick to religion, you won't be able to look beyond that box that you've been put in.
I don't understand. Preach on. But we're still on Stormzy's song, though. We'll come and check out the stats in a few minutes. But I'm interested in what you're saying.
No, I'm saying like religion will tell you not to mingle with other religions. Religion will tell you not to marry other religions. Religion will tell you
not to get a tattoo.
Thank you.
Hope.
But I don't need to be in that sort of box to know that
to God.
Humanity comes first. You have to be as humane as possible to be able to want to marry whoever you want to marry. We are all human. We're all created by God. There's no way one God created somebody and then another God created somebody else. We all look up to one being. So whatever it is to you, whether you call him God, science, the universe, energy, is all one and the same thing. Yes. So I'll choose being spiritual over.
If you're planning this morning on coming to Con Lenny by DMing here, forget. Boy, forget. You know go be. You the bab, you know go be.
Antivirus for them.
This antivirus, no. But you
no, but that's solid.
You go visit a girl maybe in the morning tea,
Yeah, so please sit down, let's talk.
I man, they like some girl, he pass there, he won't visit her small, no. Then she starts this conversation like this there. How can you progress?
No, I like depth to some extent. Like you should be able to put certain things away to be able to connect with people, regardless of whatever religion teaches us, right? So, but I think more and more gradually people are moving from that and accepting that we are human first before anything else.
The collection will go this way.
We'll go that way, right? No, but that's a very deep analysis you just made, and I just hope people listening and watching also side with you, trying to identify the line between spirituality and religion. You know, so you're more spiritual.
Yeah.
Embedded with the spirit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that has no border and no limits. It's a connection. Right? Hallelujah.
Yeah. And it's not about the outward. Never about the outward, right? Because in religion, right? Let me just say this. In religion, you can up and go to church because your friends are going to church, and just dress and look good and go to church, and enter the church and not have to listen to whatever is preached because you're on your phone 100% of the time. But with spirituality, you may not even have to go into the church and still have some sort of deep connection with your Creator, which is the best for me.
You have exposed the whole thing. You can't even ask for you to send us this thing in the night.
But I'm
not sorry at all.
Unsent.
She's chilling dynamics of the whole thing. But anyway, off the back of that song, Stormzy featuring Mnek, Blinded by Your Grace.
Absolutely love Young Them.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but body sweeter. Hey. So follow me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know what traveler, the respect for the hustler, far away just to Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life, I can't wait.
Masterclass session, and that's why this morning, if you're an artist or you are into the business of music, this will be the ideal time to log on with us, because we'll be talking about the strategies behind releases and the purposes and what it does with EPs and albums. I'm very sure you've heard EP. Most of you don't even know what an EP means. It's not English play out.
No, it's extended play. It's extended play, that's what it means. It's an English play.
Because we had the Manchester United in my mind, I just said it.
Oh, you just had to.
We are going with the Manchester United again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jay's on you.
I know what to do. I'll bring some sports stories about money.
That will just shut us down.
Yeah.
Right? But
Please.
so far, the sports stories that's killed it for me is the team. Is it the Italian or Spanish team that got the cars, or was it
the BMs?
Oh yeah. Serie A, AC Milan.
AC Milan, right?
Yeah. They got the BMW.
The BMW.
Customized.
Yeah. And you realize that, every player had a choice with the color of car that they wanted, because when they lined the car.
It was customized. They spoke to each person. What color do you want? What seat?
No, that's some crazy marketing, eh?
Yeah.
It's just
BMW
crazy.
always does that.
Yeah.
But,
I remember when BYD. You know BYD? The car called BYD.
Yeah. What car is BYD?
It's an Asian car. I don't want to use the word Chinese.
Oh, really?
I have no more to say. I was going to say something like that. I realized that the lawsuits that is circulating with Afrochella.
Some might spill on you.
Some might spill on you.
It will locate you by fire, by force.
Yeah, but so I leave it there and I'll speak that off air, but it's all good though. Yeah. But I mean, you just imagine that, you got a customized vehicle, it had your name and all those things and
nobody else has the same.
Yeah, like, yo.
That would be nice. That would be really nice.
That's crazy. Anyways, well, it's all good though. We still have more to come on the show, but how about we go check out our starter pack this morning? Let's get some inspiration going right here on Culture Daily.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clowmanye. Make some noise. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but body sweeter. Hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you never travel out. The name is like who the hustler. Far away, just the Kuala. Back again for me coming. I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me. I know. Remember you never travel out. The name is like who the hustler. Far away, just the Kuala. Back again for me coming. I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me. I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. A long way.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger kids.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I get it easy, why I can't let. See, but you never know till you. Hey, man, them so fatter. Oh, can you never know, say you. It's a man, them so fatter, find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy, be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogusongo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo, say yo, say sugar daddy, sugar daddy, say sugar daddy, sugar daddy, say sugar daddy, sugar daddy, say puff puff pass my Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kitty wins the Artist of the Year for 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team. Shouts to the fans. Charlie. Shouts to the DJ. Shouts to my family, my mom, Mambi. I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So allow me, oh allow me, oh allow me. This problem not a big
Shut up. We'll deal with you if you don't drop that album. If he comes back again with something like, oh, it's he's dropping the edges of the album.
He wants to work on 1 or 2 things.
No, but that shouldn't be the case.
We'll break into the studio and live stream it.
That shouldn't be the case. Because I think sometimes we are like rubber band, right? It's just as far as you can stretch. Mm-hmm. Now you stretch us. When we tear, we are like,
you're on some.
We are tired.
Spiritual.
Exactly.
It's gone.
The spirit is. I like that. Ladies in the spirit this morning.
Hope.
All right. So hey, we hope we have more stories coming up with Unpacking. Lenny's ready to gear up and give us some more on that. Like you said, what were we looking at?
We're just talking about Black Sheriff, who has been, named a youth chief in the North because he's there promoting his album, which is a really good thing. I think that he's on the rise.
What's the process to become when you're?
I wonder, because then a lot of people get named. A lot of people get enskined and installed as chiefs and queen mothers and all of that. But maybe it has to do with their contribution to that particular community, or also because maybe the community now wants them to come in to contribute. So I think because sometimes they just do it and then you don't really know the contribution the person has made as yet. But maybe it happens
I thought
after.
These entitlements were given via family bloodline.
No, those are more like the paramount chieftaincies and stuff like that. Those follow the hair system. But for development chiefs and other social cause chieftaincies, those ones are given the same way they give honorary doctorates and all that. So Harvard might give Jay Foley an honorary doctorate because they like your impact.
I shocked you.
They like your contribution.
The email come this morning, but they said we could look next year.
All these years.
Like what they did with Tiwa Savage. It's the same thing. So now in Ghana, I think Wendy Shea is a queen mother. Confidence Hagen is a queen mother. There are a few other people. Samini as well, I think. Yeah.
Even Stonebwoy.
Stonebwoy.
Yeah, Stonebwoy, Samini. They've all been made chiefs.
Right.
What I want to see is the impact. It's nice when we hear that they've been made the chiefs.
Well,
do we follow up and see exactly how they are helping? That's another conversation.
Right, that is.
Well, there's one artist that I suggest that they don't give him.
I know. You don't even have to mention the name.
I suggest that for the peace of the nation.
The sanity of everybody.
I did not state names. I think there's one artist, and I did not say artist as musician. Artist as talent.
Okay. We get it.
But he's a musician.
All right, so if you're ready, I think we should get into unpacking now, right?
Yes.
All right, let's get into unpacking. The stories are cooked and ready to go.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanye. Make some noise. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
So it's time for unpacking. Remember that you can also get interactive with us across all of our socials, okay? So on Instagram and Twitter, you can find us at 3 Music Networks and Plus 899 FM as well. And on Facebook, it's 3 Music and Plus 899. Find us as well on Snapchat. That is 3 Music Live, and on TikTok, 3 Music Lifestyle. Starting my stories with Tory Lanez and August Alsina. Now, a few weeks back, they had an altercation which Tory Lanez, has so much to say on. Now, this is not the first time someone is coming out to accuse Tory Lanez of anything in relation to violence. Although we do not agree or condone to violence here, he has something to defend himself.
There's this aggressive aura that people are saying this is how Tory Lanez is. And so being that you have some open cases,
there's no aggressive aura about me. There's aggressive narratives that are only told by one side. But there's anybody who really knows me or seen me or is around me is one of the most gentle, nicest people in the world. And I say that just because I'm a nigga who plays too much. I'm always laughing. I'm always joking around. I'm not a guy who's just tough and terry. I never portray to be a gangster. I never portray to be a thug. I never portray to be any of those things. I stand on business and I stand on positivity, but I stand on what's right at the end of the day. The difference is, in the last 2-3 years is that it's not that Tory Lanez has gotten more aggressive. It's that stories come out and Tory Lanez can't explain himself no more. Tory Lanez is a very outspoken person. I'm very outspoken. I'm always there to be nah, no, this is what happened, stop. I'm always there to be outspoken. I'm an outspoken artist, but I'm not allowed to do certain things. Certain things correlate to this and that, and then people that don't need to be looking into this start looking into that and this, and then it turns into something, But again, it's not that Tory Lanez has gotten more aggressive. It's that the narrative has gotten more aggressive since other narratives have been aggressive about me. And it's let's just pile these on.
Okay. We hear him, but I'm how is it that people are accusing you of, violence and you just have to say that you're outspoken. Right now, Megan Thee Stallion has also accused Tory Lanez of, being violent with her in months past. But anyway, you can also share your thoughts with us. Let us know. Do you think that these people are just accusing Tory Lanez or not? Now, I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses with, this story of he and August Alsina, and whatever verdict is reached, we will bring it to you. Another story I'm bringing to you is, like I mentioned, Black Sheriff has been enskined as a chief in the northern region and is the youth chief, okay? There's a video to this. Let's go watch. So what you are watching now, if you are watching or even if you are listening, in case you didn't see it, so Black Sharif has been enskined as, you know, a chief, like I mentioned, a youth chief in Tamale. Now he's currently promoting his recently released album, The Villain I Never Was in the North, and this happen. Now, like we mentioned, we would love to see, you know, the progression of this and how far it goes to impact the community. Black Sharif has been doing exploits, especially in relation to his music and his music career in general. And so I love this for him. As young as he is, being skinned and understood as a chief in the North, that is a big deal. And so we here at The Music just want to congratulate him on this one. Nextly, Madonna. What's up with Madonna? What's happening with Madonna? What is happening with Madonna, guys? Well, back to back, we've seen her kiss, you know, a few people on stage before. It's happened with Christina Aguilera. It has also happened with Britney Spears, right? And people keep wondering, is she really, you know, in that community, or is she just trying to spike people's interest and create conversation around that? Well, in a recently released TikTok video, what she said was, you know, she was throwing some undies, and what she said was, if she misses, she's gay. Now we see that the undies don't, you know, fall in the bin, and then she just turns back and walks away. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think that, you know, she's just trying to get us talking? Because I think a footballer also did it over the weekend, and he came back to say, oh, he was joking. Are people finding these things funny? Because I don't think it's funny. Pick a side, right, and just stay there. Or you know that people are being really accepting now of people who come out to say, oh, I'm this sexuality or that sexuality. Well, it's not happening a lot in Ghana, but in other parts of the world, in the westernized parts of the world, it's more accepted now. So is that why? Are people just playing on people's emotions to make this happen? Do you believe that she's gay because she has a child? We've seen her going through a lot of relationships, we know, with so many people as well. So yeah, you can, like I mentioned, share your thoughts and your engagement with us. We would want to be reading it right here. So remember to find us on socials. That wraps it up for me on Unpacking for today.
Well, thank you very much, Lenny, giving us those stories on Unpacking. It's that case for me is, well, if you miss it out on TV and if you're listening live on Plus 89.9 FM, and that was Madonna caught up in that kiss. I don't know, Cyril, like, you know.
She's done it before, and I'm very happy.
Cyril, man.
I don't have a problem with it. Madonna, I got your back. Keep
my girl's got a girlfriend. Hey, let me say shouts going out to you, Chris, my man, Chris Connie. You're doing and watching as well. Good morning to you, my brother. It's good to know you're locked down. Chris is like a businessman right now. You know, Chris has got some massive history. He started off with the Jive newspaper, and now my man is growing into become a very big business mogul. You should go and check his page all the time, Chris Connie on Facebook. You know, he's talking to ambassadors, and you know, he's here doing that and all. At one point in time, I know he was also with Shatawale's camp, you know, running some business there. I don't know if he's still there, but Chris, if you did there, Charlie, we can't wait for the GOG album. Give us filler. Let us know when what is going to be on that album. You know, we want to find out more information about it. Like, the man has piqued our curiosity to, you know, like, over the roof. I don't know about you though, but I'm waiting.
GOG, if it doesn't change or shake the industry, then me myself, I go cry.
Yeah.
Because your man hype us. We're ready.
Anyway, it's all good though. We still have more to come on the show. We're just going to get ready for some sports action this morning. Cyril.
We're going in.
Yeah.
We're going in live. There's a business angle to it as well, right?
Yeah.
because Tottenham is looking to get a partner to kind of take over their stadium. So they changed up their stadium 3 years ago. They built on the premises on top of the old one. And now the new, bigger one is about to sign, speculatively, is about to sign one of the biggest tech giants in history. And that will be an iconic deal for Tottenham because it brings investment to the stadium, it brings facilities, it steps it up so that they can actually be a stadium, a home stadium that is on world-class level.
So what I don't understand, it's a bit of a stupid question, but it's worth asking.
Don't worry, you can ask.
I can ask.
It's just the whole world watching you. Nobody's watching you. You want to ask a stupid question, so please, nobody's watching.
So why is it that we, why if we watch local football, when I say local, with reference to football,
homegrown stuff
in Africa, let me generalize it so that it doesn't.
No one bullet.
Yeah, one bullet. Why can't we get the oomph like the EPL and co? Like, what's missing? Is it the
technocrats, specialists,
the editor?
No,
animator.
There are people who are sports videographers.
First off, we need to understand that if you take picture for outside, it look different than it. I don't know that thing. Let's understand that thing first, because when we cross that bridge, the quality of the images that would change.
Yeah, look, the whole thing is that the kind of equipment you're using and the kind of person who is filming it makes the whole difference, right? And you are trained for that responsiveness. And then also there's the visual aesthetics that needs to be captured to create that image. The running boards of the pitches, the quality of the AstroTurf, the colorful nature of the pitch itself, the jersey branding, the stadium stands, all that comes together to create a nice picture. Imagine painting a canvas and it's black and white and gray. No, even if you give it to the most talented painter, it'll still be a very boring picture without color. So it's not just about capturing the game.
Those small elements.
Those elements make what you are capturing.
I tell you a personal experience that I actually entered Wembley Stadium and in London, and when I entered the stadium,
your heart caught.
I rubbed my eyes first, then I rubbed my eyes again a second time to be double sure that the grass, they didn't use poster colors to paint it.
No. Yeah.
Because, bro, they use poster colors to paint the grass.
No.
I'm telling you.
Do you know they grow the grass indoors? They grow the turf indoors in a greenhouse, and then they roll it, and then they come and lay it out. So when a patch of turf goes bad, they can cut out that square and cut another square and just replace it.
Charlie. But we
grow them for there. It be farm. So the players, they play on a farm because the tests, they start there. Praise the Lord. Maybe we'll get there one day, who knows? We still have problems like we can't afford to water the pitch.
Why can't we water our pitch? And the issue of the
last time I saw the Accra Sports Stadium being watered, you know the trucks that the trucks that bring water. It's one of those trucks that was on the pitch with somebody in a giant hose pouring water on the pitch. There's no underground irrigation.
Yeah, so when they went on halftime, there was an underground irrigation
just
where
pops up and
the sprinklers something opened, it came up, and then it started sprinkling. That was halftime, and I was just rubbing my eyes, and I was like, "Whoa!" And see, bro, at the Wembley Stadium, the VIP section alone, bro, Charlie, that'd be like some hotel I know for here.
That's what Tottenham has got now.
Hotel.
Yeah, that's what Tottenham has got now with their new stadium. Yeah, and coming on top of it, the Giants. I'm not going to mention the Giant to you yet. I'll mention it in my segment. But the Giants coming on top is actually bringing their business there. They are bringing their business there as well as adding value to the stadium. And this tech giant makes it very interesting because we are all already connected to them. So I don't know what kind of augmented reality or what kind of initiatives that on a tech side they can bring onto the stadium to make sure that the experience of matches at the Tottenham Stadium will be more interactive. Observers.
Because, I mean, I'm just trying to understand, because we love football. It's not like we don't love football. We love football.
Like everything else that we love,
Jay. We patronize football.
No, Jay, like everything we love, we are fixated on consumption. That's the problem with the black man. We love Mercedes, but we don't know how to make a bicycle. You understand? You get what I'm saying? We love football, but we love athletics, but we love Olympics, but we love boxing, but when Ghanaians are boxing, we stay up till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to watch it. And then the moment that bout is over, we all go back to our lives. Nobody invests in the development of boxers. Every now and then, some black American
and
comes
the
to
aesthetics we put to it is so raw. It's like we don't engage, people with some art directions.
Speaking of aesthetics, I was watching one of these youth boxing stuff. I don't know if I can say this on TV, let's risk it. It's just a lawsuit.
It's a lawsuit.
So then it was these two teenagers, like a friendly bout, and the whole crowd was like, "When saw? When saw? I was like, bruh. I was like, somebody, like, that's our thing, right? But there's a way to present it in such a way that it doesn't look so low level. Yes. You get what I'm saying?
Like, yeah.
What?
For me, one of the things that I think Ghana needs to step away from is branding. The name Ghana in itself, it's a brand.
Yeah.
That has experienced because of maybe through government mismanagement and stuff in years past or whichever ways has gone into has been muddied. So the brand itself at certain points has been muddied. So when you associate it with things like everything we do, when you see any government projects, be it like some creative something, then the design of it, they incorporate the Ghana flag. So everything has been incorporated.
Every time. Like we can't do anything Ghana without red, gold, green.
Everything.
It's mind blowing. It's like we know it's Ghana. It says Ghana there.
So maybe
it's gonna be Ghanaians there.
Maybe there's a beach something coming up, and then
we need to have that conversation.
It is crazy.
We need to gather all the designers who do that, and then just
bring them down by one. No, we see
because
King.
It's like Ghana Association of this, red, gold, green. Ghana this group, red, gold, green. Ghana community of this, red, gold, green. It's like we're stuck in the box of our flag. Our only sense of visual identity is the flag, and that is a limitation.
It is sad. I don't know. We can't get emotional about this, We can't change it, but we can change it. But it will need some really daring people, to wake up to this.
You have to wake up at dawn and start.
And bring about a change to the mindset in how we perceive things that are supposed to look beautiful and how we present them. It's very important that we look at these things because that's the reason why you'd find quote unquote things from outside looking a certain way, because the art direction in it alone is appealing to the eye. So you'd want to be part of it, But here lies the case anyways, time check is 7:50. Time for us to do some more sports stories right here on the show as well. Let's hear from you on Plus 89.9 FM with your comments on the subject matter of EPs and albums, as well as if you're listening to us, as well as if you're engaged with us on our visual radio experience on our social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. Coming up next is sports.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty and everyone else.
And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been, though? Where have you been? You? I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugar cane sweet, but what is sweeter? Hey, hey, hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you love a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you love a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I dare with you. Love to you guys so much. Love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up.
It's a Culture Daily. The name is C-Rail, and this is Sports Direct. Now, we all love various sports, football being the most popular of which. Now, think about being able to experience your football in an arena and in a space where it's more than just sitting on a plastic chair and looking on as the game goes on. Well, Tottenham recently upgraded White Hart Lane by building a new ultra-modern stadium on top of their old location. Now, the reason for this was to upgrade the experience for their fans and also create a center where they could do more than host just football matches. And of course, Tottenham, being one of the big England clubs, was looking for a center that could associate with other multinational billion-dollar brands and make a business out of the space even when match days are off. Well, the good news for Tottenham fans is that soon there's going to be an unveiling of a big partnership between Tottenham and one of the big tech giants in the world. Yes, Google is currently in talks with Tottenham to take over and have name rights access to the White Hart Lane Stadium. What this means for Tottenham is major investment in the facility, as well as added reach when it comes to how much Google can bring on board and what Google can offer as an augmented reality service provider. Now, augmented reality is basically finding a way to bring digital experience on top of the real world experience. So if you've ever used Waze or if you've ever used Finder, you realize that you're able to put your camera up and it shows you where the next hot dog stand is, or where the next wache is, or where the next pizza stand is. Well, that is also possible when it comes to sports. Google has been investing in sports, from buying into Formula One, Major League Baseball, and Major League Soccer over the last 2 years. And if Google's track record is anything to go by, you know they are not just spending this money to have their name on these buildings. Google is the biggest tech provider when it comes to internet service as well as internet experience provider. So this means that we're all on our phones where we're watching these games. We're either on social media or we're live streaming it. What does it mean when a player like Google comes on board to own, on a name rights level, a stadium like White Hart Lane? Well, we're looking forward to that. We wish Tottenham management all the best in closing this deal and making it possible for the fans to elevate their experience when it comes to watching football. Of course, the money will flow, and once we have the details of exactly how the deal was struck, the amount and all that, be sure you'll hear it right here first on Sports Direct. Now, moving on to a more controversial topic and something that seems to be going off a tangent of the negative. Iker Casillas was last week in hot waters when he allegedly was hacked. The footballer had his Twitter account posting in Spanish that he is proud to come out as gay. Now, this was first received with a bit of skepticism, but a few minutes after, over 250,000 likes and comments flooded in with people wishing him well, including a former football player who, quote unquote, said, "I'm happy we are able to tell our story." Well, that all sounds like good news, but guess what? A few minutes after, the player took down the tweet and started spreading the allegation that maybe he was hacked. Well, the LGBT community did not take lightly to this prank or to this hacking, and attacks on Iker Casillas began. And up till now, he is still under the pressure to prove that indeed he was hacked. Now, in this world, you know how things are already polarized. From the LGBT to the gender gap to all the other issues related around sports. For a big football talent like Iker Casillas to come out and say he's gay and then go back on his word saying that he was hacked, it's part mockery to the LGBT community. It's part mockery to his club and everybody who's a fan of his brand. And it's also a situation that stirs up a very unnecessary friction between the LGBT community and the non-LGBT community. I don't know what your take is on that, whether sportsmen being LGBT is a problem, is an issue for teammates or not. But Iker Casillas doing this or being hacked is definitely a conversation that's going to dwindle down and bring all these conversations back to the front line. Now he's still under pressure to prove systematically that he was hacked. So various forensic digital firms have taken over his account to prove if they can track this hacking, to exonerate him and make sure that the statement that he did make was indeed someone having a crude joke on his behalf. Now, I don't know what you think about that, but for somebody like Iker Casillas, who is such a big brand, to have a Twitter account and for all this time not be hacked, he's not even been in the news that recently, and he's not the center of any major attention or any major discussion. For him to be hacked and pick a topic as specific as LGBT, especially in these times, I'd say there's definitely some foul play at hand. Or maybe he did tweet it. He is indeed gay and is having cold feet after he realized maybe the response was not what he thought it would be. Whichever it is, it's up for you to decide. Sports Direct, we just bring you the news and we bring you all the facts for you to dissect. But make sure you connect with us and share your opinions. I'd love to know what you think about this Iker Casillas tweet and everything that's going on with the LGBT community and sports. Now, my man, Manchester United star, the old boy returned, who is performing badly. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo. My man is in the news again, and this time it's a prospective sale and a business engagement that might be the last or one of the last of the aging star's career. Well, rumor has it that David Beckham's MLS side is looking to purchase him coming in the 2023 transfer window. Now, if you were following his transfer news, last year it was speculated that he might be moving to America. Well, that didn't happen as he ended up with his alma mater, Manchester United. That has gone horribly wrong so far, as he has been benched more times with Manchester United than he has been benched in total in the last 2 years for all his previous teams. Now, Wayne Rooney, who is also a big shot in the MLS, is saying that he thinks that Cristiano Ronaldo's time as a peak performer is over. He had a few statements to make, including me summarizing here, including the statement that Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best players in the world. But like all of us, time catches up with us. And Cristiano Ronaldo is not in the form that we think he is or in the form that he was back in the day. What do you think? Do you think Ciro can make it to America and indeed bring back that legendary performance and redeem the brand that is currently undergoing a lot of scrutiny and negative press? Manchester United is not doing it. Maybe he's going to go across the Atlantic and bring a whole new different ball game to the Cristiano Ronaldo brand. Whatever it is, remember, connect with Sports Direct. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about these stories. I'll be back tomorrow, still feeding you more. I definitely want to know what Jay and Lenny have to say about these stories. From Iker Casillas and the LGBT hacking, to Tottenham taking on Google, or to Cristiano Ronaldo being able to go across to America and redeem his image and make a name for himself. Lenny, what do you think? Do you think Iker Casillas was hacked?
Well, for me, Serial is the guava dog in the t-shirt that does it for me. Thank you very much, my brother. Yeah, move that belly, bro. Yeah, that's a belly dance on the guava dog.
Don't mind you. Don't mind you, okay?
Well,
I mean, because he has flat stomach, so he can say anything he wants to say.
Man, it's just it's just the metabolism,
Wow.
It's the metabolism, yes.
Why are you using big English? It's a breakfast show. People look chop.
Serial. I'll tell you what. So for me, I saw the tweets. I went to check it out as well when you shared the screenshots in the group, and I was like, okay, hold a second. This can't be real. This cannot be him. I mean,
you don't believe it?
No, I think it was a hack. And
I don't think so.
I don't think he was hacked.
I don't think so either. No,
I don't think he was hacked. I think he
so.
put it out and got cold feet.
Yeah,
this is a tough decision to make, and it's not a press conference where you control the narrative and you have reporters asking you sensible questions.
Yeah.
This is Twitter.
Anyone can say
anything at any random time, and within like an hour, he had 250,000 engagements. Wow. On that post. Do you know that pressure?
Yeah,
plus he had, other footballers congratulating him, just solidarity, all of those things. I don't think he was hacked.
He was hacked.
I think he just had to, after tweeting, he just went to rethink whether he made the best decision by, coming to write whatever he wrote. Why wasn't he hacked?
Why isn't it that he was hacked?
Because how are you hacked and that's the only thing the person puts out?
But I have an even bigger question,
That's what they call a hack.
What's wrong with deleting your tweet?
No, I don't believe it.
That is a hack.
What's wrong with deleting your tweet?
Is there something wrong with deleting your tweet? I don't think there's anything wrong with deleting your tweet.
Exactly. So he said it, and then he deleted his tweet. Why is he under attack?
Yeah, like stand by it.
Yeah, but so maybe the deleting of the tweet is not what is pissing people off. Maybe it's his apology. And then trying to create the impression that he was hacked.
What if the person who hacked it did it deliberately to put it up and delete it and let people take screenshots and keep it for, because just to spark, because that's why I said that
Who has a beef with Iker Casillas?
I don't believe he was, honestly, because I'm like, okay, you see, like I mentioned with the Madonna story, people know that we are growing an affinity and an acceptance for LGBTQ plus, right? And so the least chance they get, they just want to associate in one way or the other because they know that, when I come out as this, I'm going to be in the news or people are going to get talking because I've come out as gay or lesbian or whatever. And I think that's what it is. He just goofed. He just goofed. He's either really gay, like Cyril said, and had to rethink his options or... Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't think it was hacked.
Thank you so much. I mean, hey, I nearly said something. I just had to tweet, I just had to untweet my
your thoughts.
Your words quickly,
yeah, I just untweeted. But anyways, well, thank you so much, my guava dog. Yeah. Let's see that guava dog T-shirt again. Oh man, okay, we lost it though, but anyway, it's all good. Yeah, that's a guava dog T-shirt. I like it. But anyway, there's more to come on the show. We're going to go into our trending lives for more stories, right? What are we looking at?
Yes, Kiz Daniel is about to do it again. But this time he's named the song Odo, right? And I listened to bits of it on his Instagram like some weeks ago. And I'm like, why does he now want to enter? Already you've broken records with Buga. Why do you want to penetrate and now enter with Odo, right? And the song is actually, it sounds really good. It sounds good. So he'll release it in a few days. So let's see how it does on our Ghanaian markets and all of that. But yeah, and then Prince David Ose is not having it in relation to how prices of things has spiked and all, because Ghana is the highest ranked country when it comes to how the inflation and all. So yeah, he's lashing out and threatening that by December
boys are balling. Trust me.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, right? So it's part of what he says in that Instagram post that is stuck, at one place. It's not trickling down, right? Now, one thing he said that stood out to me is it's pouring, yet we are sweating.
I like that.
Right? Yeah, and I think it's really true. That just goes to solidify what you said.
Let me say good morning real quickly to RoJJ. How you doing, my brother? He says, good morning, Jay, Cyril, Lenny, and the whole 3 Music team. He says, Stormzy's Blinded by Your Grace Part 2 encouraged me to finish and release my first gospel song, Psalm 23. And he shares that it's always by grace that we keep winning when we move. Roger J, how you doing, my brother? I see you doing some other stuff, and pushing your craft as well. Shouts going out to you, my bro. Hey, happy to join us here as well. Good morning to you, Nat Boy. Says, I'm already loving it. Big ups. And thank you, Natty. All right, so yeah, okay, I think Natty was responding to Roger J's tweet as well. And James Talks Music on Twitter has listed about 4 albums and EPs. I think he says AEC, The Unbroken. I think it's an album, right? Or is it an EP? It's an EP. Familiar Songs of Peter. That's an album.
That's an album.
Yes. Kirani Ayat's Aisha's Son. I don't know if Cyril can help us with that one, if it's an album or it's an EP. And then Kweku Killer, TVINW. I wonder what that means.
The Villain I Never Was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how they've shortened it to become.
TVINW.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie, man.
The Villain I Never Was.
We can't match up the pace, with some of these
things.
No,
which is understandable. I mean, the generations, right? They've stratified the generations.
Yeah,
so
we are going.
As a 52-year-old Jay, right? Please break it down for him so he understands it properly.
And big shout going out to Kojo Dompe. Says, Jay, you speak tree. This is my first time hearing you speak tree. Oh, brah. Brah, chill, brah. Brah, chill. So I put out a scenario and I was asking you out there, if a foreigner had just set foot for the first time in Ghana and you, Lenny, were to present an album and an EP from any Ghanaian musician, who would be your first choice?
First choice?
Yes.
To a foreigner?
Yes.
No, I think I'll do The Villain I Never Was for an album.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for an EP, we can do Jackie's My Diary EP. And then also Kiddy's Foreplay EP as well.
Hey.
We can do that.
Okay. All right.
Or maybe Blue.
Well, I'm waiting for my guava dog to join me here and tell me more about what he also would put up as his #1 EP and #1 album, of all time. If someone who had never heard Ghanaian music stepped foot in Ghana for the first time and was to soak an EP and an album, tell us which Ghanaian artists would you put out there? I've got a few tweets coming in. This one from Mr. Gigienyo.
These names sometimes, man.
No, it's an Ewe name. Honam, I think. Yes, says Stonebwoy's EOM album is one. Why? And I've seen a lot of people writing Stonebwoy's EOM album coming up, and I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and listen to it as well again.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting. All right, so share with us via our social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, as well. Which Ghanaian EP or album would you put out there? And I had a message that came in and says Obrafo's Paimuka. It's one album to put
That's
out
also
there.
a really good one.
I also go for Lord Kenya's album. Can't remember the title, but also for Ponsa, one of his albums as well. This is back in. Don't make me feel too old. This is back in like 2005.
I'm trying to remember what Dave J is talking about. 2005. How old was I then?
Oforian Ponsa had quite a number of songs trending in there, and that's some wild album in there as well. Please don't be staring at me like that.
No, I'm just trying to. No, if you give me the list. Hold on, I was just a teenager then. No, I wasn't, Jay. Don't do that to me. I was a teenager then. But I mean, if you can just give me the list of songs, I mean the albums and the artists, I'll go look for it and listen to it.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
So for I had some real good ones out there as well. So hey, we'd love to hear from you. Let's get it going. Coming up next is our Trending Live right here on the show. Don't go away. It's Jay and Lenny and Cyril right here on Culture Daily.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanye. Make some noise. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo. I'd love to see Kitty and everyone else.
And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been, though? Where have you been? You? I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugar cane sweet, but body sweeter. Hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you love a traveler, the name is my booty hustler. Far away, just in Kuala Lumpur. Back again for me coming, I swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you love a traveler, the name is my booty hustler. Far away, just in Kuala Lumpur. Back again for me coming, I swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro.
Welcome back. You're still on Culture Daily, and this is Trending Live. I'm starting my stories with Prince David Osei, who has been, in the news, and especially on Twitter. Right. The reason, if you do not know, is he took to Instagram and put a post up that says, from World Bank, that says Ghana ranks first with highest food price increases of 122% in sub-Saharan Africa. And he had a lengthy post for the president, which I am going to read. And so he says, Mr. President, with all due respect, Mr. President, why are you sleeping on Ghanaians? This is not acceptable, Mr. President. We deserve better. We know there are global crisis and hardship. Yes, we know. But looks like you and your ministers are determined to inflict untoward hardship to the citizenry. I decided to give you and your government the benefit of the doubt. I reckon I was wrong. The youth of this nation are not smiling. It paused, but we are still sweating. If things don't change by December, we will mobilize the youth of this country and hit the street irrespective of party affiliations. Whether NPP, NDC, CCQ, PNC, whatever, doesn't matter now. We are all in this together. And then he goes ahead to say, God bless our homeland. God bless our motherland, I beg your pardon. We want to see improvement in our livelihoods. If you have to sack some people to do it without fear of favor, because your legacy is on the line, sir. Okay, so like I mentioned, on Twitter, there was so much to say on Twitter. This is also because that he mentioned in December, we are going to, run a demonstration. He's going to mobilize the youth and run a demonstration. Now, I'll just quickly, talk about the ranking for you. Ghana is at 122%, which is first. Senegal is at 110, Uganda is at 107, and then Nigeria is at 106.5. And so from the tweets, Twilight says, are we dragging Prince David Osei today too, or he should go and sin no more? That was from him. Kali J also says, you did Afro Nation, then some bro they tap your shoulder. Why are Prince David Osei say make we go stand Opera Square then shout fix the country? And this is somebody that was so big on the fix the country movement. So for him to say this, that means that December, no time for anything apart from jamming. Okay. SL says, it's only a hypocrite, I beg your pardon, who doesn't change his mind. Spot on, Prince David Osei, by you for mobilize your friends and family for the demo, and he blows a kiss. Same SL says, Prince David Osei, the trend number 3. That Kali J guy is stubborn, squad vex wa. And then also Mempa Sam says, Prince David Osei, they take a moto for one side. The demonstration there, either in family members where they go. Now this is also because we know that Prince David Osei is, very big on the current ruling party, and that's why also in his post he mentioned that regardless of political affiliations, he's going to do what he's doing. Well, are you going to be part of the demonstration in December? Demonstration by Prince David Osei? Let us know, because like people have said, they don't have time to do that. Okay, so Pa Kwesi, who is also called Papa Kwesi Jr., says Prince David Osei turned his back on John Dumelo just because of Peanut. He knows very well John Dumelo can do the job, but because of his selfishness and greed, he went to endorse a woman who doesn't visit her constituency. Wow. Okay, now you know how very savage, social media can be, the whole 9 yards. People are just going at him and not having it at all. All right, rather unfortunate, but you can also keep the conversation going on our socials. Now, one person that is going because he's not having any of what was going to happen is Ashake. Now, Ashake had a performance in Baltimore, and it's speculated that his security had a gun stolen from him. And so what you're watching now is a video of him leaving the performance, which I think is only right, because you never know whoever pulled the gun, you never know at which point he is going to use the gun. So yes, definitely his protection and his security is top notch and matters more than anything else. But there are some tweets to this which I'm going to read as well. All right, so Michael Amano says, all jokes and laughter aside, need better organization, to be honest. If people have paid for tickets, let them in. This also because we heard that the organization of the event, wasn't top notch or wasn't the best. Ashake, to me, I think he's the hot artist now. He's on now. And so if these things are going to be happening, they should pay attention to detailing as well, from everything, the whole 9 years, the whole 360. So Kendrick says, very wild, the look on Ashake's face. My guy was scared. Just read that face. Like I said, yes, because you never know at what point. Like, you never know what will happen. So much can happen. So, yes. Now, this person also in relation to the organization, she's called Mayowa. She says, and I'm sorry, is this a high school auditorium? What is going on? Because everything just looked clammed up. Everything just looked plenty. Right? So, yeah, like I mentioned, moving forward, they've learned their lessons and they may do things better. And then Basha says, so Terminator served the fear gun. The whole, idea of Ashake being a street guy, a hard guy and all of that. But yes, who isn't afraid of gun? Tell me, who isn't? It's rather unfortunate. So, yes, now my last is on Kiss Daniel. Now, Kiss Daniel has posted this. I'm sure this will be, the dance to the song Odo, because you know how now it goes, a song and then a dance to go with it, which will also help with the trends across board. Kiss Daniel has had a good year this year, especially with his song Buga, and he's releasing this one as well, which he titles Odo, on the 14th of October. Now, breaking this news on Twitter, he just wrote, cough, Odo, October 14th. Are you looking forward to listening to this song? Me, I'm like, he should have titled it anything else. Why are you using a Ghanaian word? Because, come on, we have this back and forth of, Ghanaians already listening to more foreign content, and then now you come and name your song Odo, which will want us to listen more to it. I think it's just strategic, if you ask me. All right, now we have a few tweets from there, and from I Am Angela says, no be say it go remain 2 hours, you go postpone again, no. All right. And then another jam says, the Jamil also says another jam. And then Escobar says Omo with fire emojis right there. And then we also have this from Smag Boy Official, who says it's a hit. Okay, well, are you looking forward to listening to this? I am, just for the sake of the fact that he's named it Odo, and whatever the song is going to have in there, I just want to listen to it, right? Even if it means listening to it once. And then also I look forward to all of the trends that will come up from this on socials. Wraps it up for me on social, but I'm going to throw it to Jay and Cyril back in the studios. Guys, do you think it's strategic for Kiss Daniel to name his song Odo, or do you think he's just trying to play on our emotions? Because it happened with a song that had, Shito in there as well some time back, a Nigerian song like that, I think several Decembers ago, right? And that song was also, a hit as well. Do you think that's the case with this one? Is he trying to break further into the Ghanaian market?
Well, Lenny, I'll throw this question back to you that we sing so many songs in Ghana and pick up Nigerian accents and use Nigerian words. Would they be saying the same thing, that is it deliberate from us to try and penetrate their markets, in the way we sound and the rhythms? So if you ask me, I think, hey, yes, definitely. I mean, as an artist, you want to find your best foot forward in terms of trying to penetrate a certain market. And he finds it that maybe Ghana is like one of the places to make sure he gets enough to hit with a song in there because it will propel him to greater heights. And that's what I keep saying, that for us in Ghana, maybe we haven't yet understood the power of what we have, and that it's not about us consuming Nigerian music so Nigerians are better off. It's us understanding that we have a certain very fertile land that grows things, across not only music. So once we start protecting this fertile land on how people plug things into it, it's fine to consume anything you want as a Ghanaian, be it an American song.
Right.
After all, we listened to Coolio, may his soul rest in perfect peace. We soaked DMX. Yes, we did. Rough Riders, we did all that. We saw Asher Raymond 8701 album. We loved it. We jumped to it. I got my
confessed.
wife. Yes, I confess. I sang that song to my wife several times when I was young and very romantic. I become an old man with crooked bones. So yes. So equally, the platform that we have, or the Ghanaian terrain that we have, gives rise to promote other things other than Ghanaian things. So once we know we have this power, then we might as well know how to use it.
Yeah.
To our advantage.
Which I agree to. It's left to us.
So if Odo has been used, now the question is, all right, Odo has been used. Hey, did you know that, please, if you use the word Odo, you have to pay us something small for the voice?
Folklore people will come for him.
Folklore people will come for him, I know.
Yes,
I know.
Chinese kente now. How did we protect it? We've lost it. It's gone out there.
Chinese kente. They're even doing Chinese cocoa, bro.
Charlie, bro.
It's crazy. Charlie. It's crazy. But yeah, I think I agree. I agree with that 100%. We have to focus on protecting what is ours. But yes, on to the big conversation, Jay.
Well, thank you very much, Lenny. So, Cyril, we're talking about the music again and the EPs and the albums. And I was asking Lenny earlier on that which would be if a foreigner set foot in Ghana now and he was asking for, one Ghanaian EP and one Ghanaian album to listen to, what would be your best foot forward? Which artists? I know you say Stonebwoy's EOM, so yeah, that one is out.
Oh, okay. Before Stonebwoy's EOM for Ghana, I'd probably say Obrafo's Pemuka.
Yeah.
And then for foreign classic, I'll probably go with Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt.
No, listen to Ghanaian. He wants a Ghanaian.
Purely Ghanaian. You've already mentioned Epistles of Mama.
Yeah, I mean, that's like...
Untamed.
Untamed by...
Samini.
Classic, right?
Yeah.
It was an album.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. We can't wait to hear from you as well. So share with us 3 Music on Facebook, 3 Music Networks on Twitter, same as on +899 FM on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you on this topic. But let's jump into our studio 899, where we digest the conversation with our guest who joins us. He's apparently a rep from AudioMac as well in Ghana. Plus his iMuller brand that focuses on music, digitization, promotion, everything talking about music. Well, he's our guest this morning and want to understand a bit more about this phenomenon on releasing EPs and album and what it does to the artist as well as the consumer. Us. Don't go away.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clowmanya. Make some noise. They love them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo. I'd love to see Kitty and everyone else.
And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been, though? Where have you been? You? I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugar cane sweet, but body sweeter. Hey, hey, hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. Long way.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wait for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger KA.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I get it easy why I can't let. See, but you never lose to you. Hey man, them so fat. Oh, can you never lose to you? Listen man, them so fat to find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy. Be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogusogo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say puff puff pass. My Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kitty wins the Artist of the Year for 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team. Shouts to the fans. Charlie. Shouts to the DJ. Shouts to my family, my mom, Mambi. I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So allow me. Oh, allow me. Oh, allow me. This problem not a big
standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clowmania. Make some noise. They loved them. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty and everyone else.
And he said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You? I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians. Sugarcane sweet, but body sweeter.
Hey, hey, hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back, I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know a traveler, the name is like who the hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back, I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. Love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger KA.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live the way you way. I get it easy why I can't let. See, can you never lose to you? Hey man, them so fat. Oh, can you never lose to you? Listen man, them so fat to find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy. Be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Controversies. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say puff puff pass my Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kitty is the artist.
Man, so I'm a when they call me a sit dancer, it's all good, no problem. I only sit and dance, no problem. But at least still there's dance at the end of it, right? I dance. Whether you sit and dance or you stand and dance, you dance it. I think we should do the Ghana Sit Dancers Awards very soon. That's the GSDA. Cyril, I'll be with the inside, right? Yeah.
That's
no, I the boogie. Me the boogie. Go YouTube. Because I'm quiet here. Or what? What are you thinking?
Please, which YouTube page can we check?
Just go to my. Just there. Cyril is there. Just go.
Okay, sure.
Why? Did I stammer?
I'll check it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Bro,
stammer.
he knows. Our guests know. You see the way he's chill. We should behave ourselves there.
You didn't stammer.
Collect kiss and calm down. Calm down.
So we're live in the studio with Annette Latte. She's a talent manager and digital artist, I can say, right?
Yes.
And also my brother Maxwell Javon. He's an employee at iMula. Well, an employee at iMula, but he owns.
Are you sure?
He owns.
Are you sure? Because don't make us spill the beans. So
I'm an employee, the first employee.
The first employee. Yeah. The prototype.
Yeah. The very first.
Also the chief servant.
at iMula.
Yeah,
and then also I can say a rep, the man with the ears on the ground for Audio Mark in Ghana,
the ambassador.
Yeah, he's got some connects there like that, We have a big man and a big woman live in the studio this morning, and we've been talking a lot about EPs and albums, and to be very honest, I came to understand EP about some 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't even understand what it is, but I think there's more to it, than just the name an EP or just an album. Yes, they are both collections of songs. Yes, they sit on the same platforms, but I think they serve two different purposes. And we are here this morning to talk more about that. Let me say shouts to Trigmatic as well. Big shout to Trig, who's been on the rise recently in South Africa, making some massive waves. He's also currently tuned in. Good morning to you, bro. We've got Harlem Stam Rep GH says, good morning, Jay. I never missed the show. You guys know what's up. Thank you. Respect, bro. Culture daily. And tax Cyril as well in that tweet. Cyril, be your bro, eh?
You're my
guy. Yeah.
My guy.
So, well, if you're an artist, this will be the best time for you to log in and plug in with us on the show because, we spend a lot of time trying to educate and create solutions to some of the plenty, entertainment, showbiz conversations. Now we are focusing hard on music today where we're talking about EPs and albums, and there's a lot to learn about it. But even before we jump into anything, guys, even before we go into anything, we'll do some throwback. But let me just ask the two of you, off the top of your mind, I know you've dealt with so many artists, so you might want to play politics with this conversation. But a foreigner steps foot into this country, first time, never, he's been to Ghana. And you're to present an EP and an album from a Ghanaian artist, whether they did an EP or an album. Who would be your top or your first?
Are you going first?
The best EP or album that's been produced by your standards.
Okay, so in this country, we don't really do a lot of EPs, right?
Okay, I thought we do a lot of EPs.
No, not a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay, then I have a lot to learn.
Yeah, because most of the artists who do EPs, you might not know them.
Okay.
So that's the standard, right? Okay. That's the standard. And then the ones you hear are mostly like albums.
Okay.
Right, so I would present King Promises as promised because...
album, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an album.
An album, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very solid album that you can go back and listen to. Mm-hmm. That's one.
No politics.
Nah. Yeah. That no politician.
Because great boys, they pay off late there. They say, "Charlie, you new information."
and then the second one, I think maybe No Pressure, maybe.
From Sarkodie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good project. It's a good project. I'd put people on that. EPs, Omarion Marines is a very good artist, singing in Ghana. Mm-hmm. He dropped a tape called Oblite. Mm-hmm. I think that's a very good representation of the country or Ghana or Accra or Osu. Mm-hmm. Right, that's one. Another one is Young Dems. Also dropped a project, which is an EP with a couple of friends.
Okay. All right, you've chosen more than one now.
No. So that's two EPs.
Yes.
And then 2 albums.
Interesting. All right, great choice of artists, I must say. What about you?
He leaves me with no choice.
So I would have pitched my artist EP.
Hey, business.
Yes, business. But then it's not out yet, so that's next year. So I'm looking out for album. I think the Mary album is a good one. That's Sarkodie's Mary. Yeah. And then I like Stonebwoy. I mean not Stonebwoy. I mean the episodes of Mama. Yeah,
everyone is talking about that album.
Yeah,
no, that project it's a great one.
Yeah,
classic.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah.
It's got songs like what?
It has.
I've forgotten the songs on the project, but I just know
I can sing it, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
I just know.
Yeah, it has Saba, the likes of Saba, Manime, Dede. With Kelvin Boy, it has
Bawa Saba, Dede, Manime, Pepper Them. Oh wow! Carnival, Soldier, Adobe, One Man Lady, Jungle, Hold On, All My Love. Wow!
And that was 2017.
Hold On,
2017.
To sing
Hold On. Wow.
And it was released in 2017 also.
Yeah, Suit and Tie, I know that song. Yeah. Oh wow, real, okay, all right, okay, all right. Okay.
So now you know it's not hype.
I know it's not hype.
Our international artist based in Ghana.
Yeah.
But still, let's try and recap some of the classic albums. I mean, we've mentioned Episodes of Mama as one. Some of the other classic albums and EPs that have been released in Ghana music history time. You know, I was talking about one that I love, High Life classic album by Oforian Ponsa, sometime in 2005-06. To me, it was classic, you know. Producers shouting in the ears and saying that Daddy Lumbe Sabin Waha was another classic. I don't know, Lenny, I know you say this guy, Kiddy.
Don't do that to me.
Just yesterday.
No, don't do that to me. I mean, there are so many good albums and EPs we can take a look at.
I'm saying from back in the day. I mean,
No, from back in the day. How back in the day are you talking about?
Oh, I mean, from Kiki Kabobo is
no, I don't. Acceptable. No, from Kiki Kabobo, don't. No.
You don't have any.
I don't know. That's why I asked you to list me all the albums and the artists, and then I'd go listen to all of them. Yeah.
But I mean, to everybody, I mean, just on conversation before we get into deep chats about understanding EPs and albums. Some of the classic albums and EPs we've heard, in times past. For me, like I say, I'd go for an Oforian. Well, locally, let's do that locally. Yeah, mm-hmm. I would go for an Oforian Ponsa all day. And because I was in that era when back to back every song was a classic hit. Paimuka album was also classic. That album from the intro to the outro.
If the first lines of Kwame Nkrumah don't get you to love Paimuka album, then you are not a patriot. Because Bradford, listen, the legend who is a Bradford, that album should not be contested. It should be stated that one of the greatest albums we've had is Obrafo's Paimuka. You need to check it out. Oh, yeah. The way you are nodding, you are suspect. That's shot. You are a suspect like Lenny. Oh, you have to provide all for you guys.
Yeah, but I think the concept of album and EPs caught up recently because a lot of people until the introduction of Apple Music and all these DSPs, they really know much about albums. They bought cassettes and they thought it was random songs. Yeah. Put on those things. And then it was quite recently that people got to know that, okay, there's even mixtape.
See, that's another thing.
You see, there are mixtapes, some people have demos, some people have different kind of descriptions to their body of work.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's up to recently that people are naming particular, body of works, projects, album, whatever name you want to give it to it. Some people even call it feels.
Okay.
Like genres recently.
Feels.
Yeah.
Feels. Yeah.
That's new to me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, people you can choose to call anything.
Like vibe.
Yeah, you can call. Some people call their genre feels. Some people call it Banku music. Some people call it, anything. And it's all under the good umbrella of Afrobeat.
and I think that
definitely. So, it's your show.
I think that when you ask for an album or EP, most people, like we're about to discuss, people do not really know. They know the songs on it, so they won't be able to tell you that Episodes of Mama is a hard album. But then if you mention maybe Bawasaba, they're like, oh yeah,
that song, you know, that song. Yeah.
So you know, they don't really. So if you mention, let's say the album title, maybe Paimuka, sorry, they would know what is on it, like the songs on the album, but they wouldn't know like that it is an album, like it's the body.
Okay, so maybe let's get into the technical understanding of this now. You know, what is, now you've mentioned mixtape. That you know, what is an EP? What is an album? What is a mixtape? And then the jargons, feels and vibes.
No, feels and vibes is just generous. But I mean, for body of works, mostly EPs are between 4 to 7 songs, mostly.
Yeah.
Right, mostly 4 to 7 songs. Some people do 4 songs. Some people do 5, 6. And I think the maximum you can have on it for it to qualify as an EP is 7. Right, and then albums are from like 7 to like, you know, whatever people are releasing now. And then I think mixtapes are basically collections of songs that artists call throwaways. The artists call throwaways, right? And then just give it to their fans to just.
So are you saying that if I release a collection of music that is between 4 and 7 songs, I can't call it an album?
No. It doesn't qualify as an album. That's the technicality, right? Yeah. But you the artist can call it an album if you want. Yeah. But it doesn't qualify as an album.
The definition for album kind of stemmed from the fact that artists were very restricted in the beginning on what platforms they had to showcase their music. So if you are releasing on an LP or on a cassette, the runtime of the average cassette was 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So as an artist, cost effectiveness, you don't want to get a cassette, produce maybe 5,000 cassettes and you only have 3 songs on it and the rest. So you had to maximize the available runtime you had. So you had 60 minutes and a song on average is about 3 minutes. So you ended up having songs that were like albums that were like 15 tracks and more. And then they fill up the extra empty space on the cassette with skits. So if you remember old cassettes we used to listen to, it's track 1, track 2, track 3, then there's a skit. They have a conversation, a joke, or they put
there was some intro.
Even recent, people do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just something to spice up, you know, the project you have.
Yeah.
And then, again, albums and then EPs, right? So we say albums are basically like novels.
Yeah.
And then EPs are short stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So as a writer, right, you write short stories. Some people also write novels. So you can see a book like 100 pages.
Yeah.
And you see books with like 10 pages.
Yeah.
That's basically
what it is.
What it is.
Yeah. Now, you remember when Kitty came, I made the correlation of people thinking that when you release an EP, you've not put in so much work exactly in comparison to albums. Do you get that a lot as well?
I think that that's because people term like the EP, because he said, like as he said, the EPs are short stories. People term the EP to be cheaper than the album.
Yeah.
You know, like the EP is basically supposed to be like quite cheaper in terms of budget and all of that, because it's the time and the money you're going to put into the album, you wouldn't put in like the EP. The EP is more like keep your fans waiting, you know, keep them
satisfied
while you are preparing your
something bigger.
While you're working on your album.
Also take their B-list songs off. You know, the album process for some artists means recording a lot and then having your A&Rs and your production guys kind of streamline the songs and take some out. But that takes time. Like we've been waiting for Gift of God for 3 years, right? So in that time, it'll make sense that the songs that the team is thinking might not be album worthy, might be EP worthy. Yeah. So EP was used as a promotional angle from the beginning. And that's what created the mindset that the EP is below the
But that's the problem.
Yeah, that's what created the problem.
That's the biggest problem, right? Because, again, like I said, they have to be stories. But one is shorter and one is longer. And then that's why people put out EPs and it's like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
We don't even understand what you're saying. So it feels like a collection of songs, which makes no sense. If you actually want to maximize your abilities as an artist, you find whatever zone you want to get into, whatever story you want to tell us. Like, for example, Black Sheriff's project, which is an album, he could have streamlined it into like a good EP and told a short story, right? But he gave us a long story, which is also good. But then if you can streamline your EP very well to tell us a story like Rema has done it, or Mali has done it. Joe Boy is a typical example of an artist who does very good EPs and has continuations. So the stories make sense to a lot of people. Fireboy came out with a very fire project when he first landed, and people have, termed that project as the best project he's ever released, right? So if you have to take time to put it together, the fans will always do growl, right? That's why people also come out with different things like Sorry for the Wait.
Yeah. And also,
those are not EPs, those are not albums, but it's just something to keep people active.
So that's an EP undervalue an artist in any way? Like
No.
an artist
Actually,
look like
an EP,
you didn't put in enough?
An EP is, I see an EP to be something.
You're speaking as a professional to it, and then after answer it as the perception that the consumer, also picks it up for.
Yes, exactly. So I think that the EP is supposed to be what will get you new fans, like the potential fans, to to listen to you, to get to know you better. And then also as an artist, if you are releasing an EP, I think that the EP should be the period where you're using that to find your sound. If you're not already, if you do not have your sound yet, you can use that EP to, like 4 songs, maybe put in some genre. And let me give you an example. Jackie's Seed. As a consumer, I got to know Jackie through her EP. It was the EP I became like a fan.
Seed EP.
Yeah, the Seed EP. That was how I became a fan of Jackie. I was here. I think she released some singles before.
Her singles, Love is Pretty.
Yeah.
Never Like
Does
This.
the consumer really care about what borders the song you've released, be it an EP or?
Sorry, that's why.
Did you release an EP? Both.
And the response for the EP was better than the response for the album, because
Cyril's EP was what we were referring to, the business.
Yeah.
What's it again? Business suits and dress shoes. Yeah.
And the EP's response was better than the album because people felt like albums are long.
That's one thing.
That's what from a consumer perspective. That's what I learned, like from direct insight.
But then the mistakes we make a lot, right, is to understand that the caliber of the artist also demands what they put out. So there are three types of like fans. Let me just put it that way.
To speak to response and caliber, the album had a response from a more international perspective, and I had people doing like their doctorate theses and stuff on verses that I wrote and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the EP had more of a fan-based reaction, with people going and liking it on social media and making noise more locally and all that.
That is because now the 3 types of fans basically are fans who are like floating fans.
Okay, yeah.
Who are who want to know something.
No loyalty.
Yes, so they kind of like
for the good vibe.
The first category just wants to know what's going on, what they can explore. So they call them the exploration fans, right? People who explore and might find your song and be like, oh, yeah, this guy is good, right? Let me check out some more. And we have the people who are floating. So kind of, they're not die-hard fans. They're in between. They just want to listen, get introduced to your sound.
On shuffle.
And then we have the die-hard fans who will listen to your album from top to bottom every time. So you have to know who you are and what you want to release. So an upcoming artist wouldn't straightforward wake up and just drop an album, because
you don't have that.
That's very difficult.
Okay, so we're going to debate this, but before we do that, let's just do a quick throwback into some of the classic EPs and albums that have dropped this year as well, which we put on your screens right about now. And for those who are listening to us via Plus 89.9 FM, we'll tell you what's on our screens in a minute. But check it out, and then we can jump back into our conversation, because now about this category you've mentioned, and how that affects the album and what the artist and what to release, it's something that is very crucial because, sometimes I always feel like artists have got some good collection. Okay, so we have it on the screen screen now. So the 5-star album, these are the tracks on there as well, and they call it the TVINW. The album. As well, and these are the songs. 14 songs on there? Wow.
Yeah, 14 songs.
Yeah, classic songs. But I have a lot to say about that album.
Then there's Love Damini as well from Burna Boy. Then that's from Nigeria, and that was also a big hit. That made a lot of international wave as well. Even resonated well with the Ghanaian audience. 19 tracks,
and it's still making a lot of waves.
Still making a lot of waves as well. Yeah. We have from Glory Signs, Jagele, Kilometer. I have to read it how it is. And then there's Cloak and Dagger, then there's Whiskey, then Last After Breakfast. Different Size, Plenty, Dirty Secrets, TAS, Solid, For My Hand, Roller Coaster, Vanilla, Common Person.
He doesn't have Monster on this one.
No.
Monster
was on the other one, the King Kong reference one.
That's my favorite all-time. African Giant. That's my favorite all-time classic track by Burna. I don't see any song better than that.
But if you play Kilometer here and I'll dirty myself. don't do it. Then Ashake, Mr. Money with the Vibe. Charlie, I like that title. Mr. Money, not just with the money, with the vibe. It will
surprise you, but yesterday is when I actually soaked this guy.
So you'll be buying lunch for him.
Why your thoughts on that?
He's been called Mr. Money for time.
Really?
In Nigeria, and Ashake is not like a new artist.
Oh man!
What is it? He's not breaking through boundaries, or what?
Yeah. So he's been like your SS artist who's was making waves underground, and then boom.
So I checked out is it Joha? I checked Terminator out. And I mean this guy.
I like the Reason, Sumba, and the Terminator. Those are my jams.
This guy is.
Have you heard Joha is actually really good as well?
Boy Alone.
And that's Omale Boy Alone. Lovely album cover, album art, simple, straightforward.
Yeah, I love the band design.
Yeah, the songs there, Recognize, Band You, I See, is it I think, Woman, I'm a Mess, Temptations, Understand, Never Forget, Safe Haven, a whole lot, Purple Song, Tell Everybody. Okay, so. Interesting. Okay, also Songs of Peter.
For me,
dope, man. Dope. But I have certain, if you can hold on with this picture on there, I have some things about some Ghanaian artists that personally I feel I didn't need an album now, and that's just my emotions talking to me. So for me, for example, yes, it was time for Black Sheriff to release an album, but for me, I felt like I wanted more singles and possibly an EP before I get to consume too much of him, so I don't get tired of his style.
Your expectation doesn't define their strategy.
No, I get it, but I am a consumer.
That's his sentiment.
That's it.
No, but
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that I hear that a lot, right? Charlie, but when he come, he wants but I'm just saying that the fan forgets that there's a plan.
It's not based on you.
It's not based on you.
So that's what I described, right? Now he has a lot of audience.
Yeah.
So he can drop a project for you.
And even with that album, right? I noticed that all the songs are unique and different.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Are they?
It's not. It's not the same thing. You're not hearing the same sound over and over.
We're going to come to at what point in time should an artist release an EP or an album? But I'm not saying this that I don't like that the album he released.
Dropped.
I've listened to it. I love it, but I felt like, okay, so ever since Black Sheriff came out for me, and I believe that there are other people like him as well who are consuming his music, I felt like he brought the first sermon, classic. He brought a second one, classic. It's not easy for an artist to get back-to-back hits like that. He brought a third one, classic.
He brought the remix.
He did Amrado's
but before he dropped even first sermon, he had like 3 songs.
More,
He had, I think, Akuma, something like that.
Okay, I mean, they hadn't gone viral.
He had like 3 songs, which were...
Oh, I mean, as an artist, I'm sure
Money. He had the Money song.
No, I mean, as an artist, he had songs he was releasing, so that's great.
His breakout music. Yeah.
So after he and Amrado did that collaboration, I was like, you know what, this boy is just classic. He's different. And then he released after that feature, he released I've forgotten the song.
The remix.
The new one, Soldier.
No, it wasn't Soldier.
The Traveler.
He did a remix with Burna Boy as well.
Burna Boy.
Second Sermon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the KTT came in. Now, I was enjoying Black Sheriff at that pace. At that pace, I liked it. Because he was wowing me every time. Now he's shared
like everything.
Everything.
Yeah, but Soldier was a single and it's here. Second Sermon was a single and it's also here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, for an artist, after you release hits, you definitely want to pack it up and say that, let me put it all on an album.
But
then again, from the beginning.
But you see, there are advantages to having an album.
Yeah.
There are conversations, there are category entries, there's award submissions. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that he himself might even feel like, let me keep that pace. But that pace comes with the downside of being excluded from certain other
a lot of conversations.
Yes. Yeah. And then also I think that Black Sherif has reached that point where he's amassed a lot of fans, right? I did mention that maybe album and EP consumption also depends on the artist.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you find that there's an artist that is already established that will release an album and it won't be as soaked as much as Black Sherif's album has been soaked. So it's just he's built with all the songs and at the pace he's released a song, like Jay is saying. He's managed to build some anticipation and also to create that space for people to want more from him as an artist. Because what you notice is, even though the first and second sermons...
There is, don't you think that there's now going to be, listen, the boy is a classic artist, and he's now shown us what he can do with his first album, classic.
Now,
so
you feel like there's going to be pressure?
There's going to be pressure on him.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
How I feel.
I don't think so. Let me give you an example.
We've seen aside from brand, we've seen and exactly. You see, let's come back to an artist like Sarkodie. Okay, Sarkodie as a brand is a very powerful brand, a very influential brand. Now it goes back into the music. When was the last time you had a hit song from Sarkodie? You understand? When was the last time you had a hit song from Sark? People are consuming the brand and giving him all the legendary status that he deserves. Yes, performances, he's on point, but the last time you had a classic song from Sark that has probably going to go viral and give him the mileage like Azonto.
I don't think Sark is in that space anymore.
Becomes no, I'm just saying.
When you becomes
the challenge that the artist has to jump, because sometimes you pour out too much to the consumer. And the consumer now knows you. So what's next?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't feel so.
We see. No, you go.
Yeah. Let me make an example. When we had "Girl, them like to party and move somebody," Burna Boy, and those times, he hasn't released EPs since like 2016. It's been albums till now. Right. Let's say between the period of 2016 till now, he's released like a good 5 to 6 albums only. People have consumed it. They have classics in there. They have his last 3 or 4 albums have standouts. Right. It doesn't matter. If you feel like you have the capacity, which I think Black Sherif does have the capacity, for people to pick up whichever songs they want on the project to listen to, because it's a complete book of stories. And he has the capacity and backing off a whole label, has a team, has everybody, a moving part to move the songs on the project to whichever country it resonates with. The problem with people not releasing a lot of albums is because they don't have the bandwidth. If you release the album, how are you promoting it? Where are you getting the song to? Who is pushing your song? Who is on your team? Where is the knowledge? Where is the capacity to push whatever import you have in your hand to the world? And that is the problem. That is why a lot of people don't release albums, even with established artists.
It's a heavy task.
It's a very big task, and studio time, mix and mastering,
the quality
all
of
these songs,
the mix, promotion, album arts, video, promo,
it's a lot.
PR, press runs.
It's a lot of work. That's why a lot of people, even bigger artists now, stick to EPs, make their 4 songs, go away.
Which even goes back to what Bulldog mentioned about Sarkodie and Shatawale not being able to
reach the
release
level
albums that would do as well as the Villain I Never Was is doing now. Hold on. It's not about it's because of finances as well. It's because of finances as well, like Maxwell is mentioning. If you have the backing of a label, it will be different than if you are an independent artist, and that was the reference Bulldog was making.
I want to hear from all of you because I have a
if only money was the issue, a lot of G boys in this country
would have done it. Yeah.
It is the team, the capacity,
the backing.
I'm not talking money.
Jay, you're missing a factor, right? You asked a question about why Sarkodie. When was the last time Sarkodie had a big trending hit and blah blah blah?
Yeah.
Sarkodie's brand is not at that space
now
where he needs another
you go kill me.
The way she did it, he doesn't need another one of those. He's a mature brand now. He represents more than how trendy his music is.
Yeah.
He, as a person, represents success. He has made it. I don't think we need to keep having a Sarkodie conversation from a perspective as if he still has more of the mountain to climb. Sarkodie has climbed the mountain.
Give it like a record.
He's at the top of the mountain. Now he needs to be there and make sure he can develop
sustain
the top of that mountain.
Yeah.
Sarkodie is not climbing. The people who are doing hits and this song will trend around 3 weeks and then it go lost, they are still climbing the mountain. Sark did the top long time.
I think you've lost track of what I was talking about.
No, what was your question? Your question was simple. You said when was the last time?
No.
Okay.
That question
give the question
that
again.
Wasn't what I was talking about. That was just
so give the question again.
Guava dog.
Okay.
I think what you're trying to say is that the fact that Sharif, Black Hole released a few classics, okay, and you were expecting that you wanted more. You wanted to hear more before, like a whole body, like an album.
I wanted so
like
Black Hole got us into a rhythm of expectation of wow, what is this boy going to bring next?
So
I'm coming. What is he going to bring next? And each time he did it, he shocked us with something crazy. Even the features, like every time I was itching to hear a Black one. I think that I even stated categorically on sometime on my Instagram that the boy, because I have music background, I don't mean technical music. I'm talking about like playing music background. The kind of notes that he hits are very different. Yeah. And that difference brought this newness into because we have a certain progression that we play all the time on our when it comes to that's how come for an organist who plays in a charismatic church, he doesn't need to know how to read notes. He can use a certain one progression to play through all the gospel. I mean what would I say? The praise and worship songs because we have a certain progression. But Black Hole is different. Black Hole has a different progression, and that is what makes his music. If you listen to the feature with him and Amrado, for example, the boy he changed it. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, from my point of view, from first sermon, second sermon, he changed it again. It was, even though it was the same drive, it was different. Even I think second sermon or third sermon was even flatter than the first one. The first one was more music. Understand? The boy has it. Now, I was excited about that. And every time it made me want to go check out a Black Hole's music. So the point I am at now is that now he has given me a catalog of Black Hole music, of Black Sheriff music. I've listened to it. My only worry, and I'm just as plain as a consumer and a fan of Black Hole, just like anybody, is that now I think I get your drift. I've caught your flow in there. I see how. So what's next?
You've lost the excitement.
So I felt like, to have kept me, who's also an equal consumer as you, at that element of surprise, I'd have loved to have an EP first. And let that EP drive me towards the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Let me simplify it for you. Where did Black Hole come from? Black Hole came out of nowhere. Something else was trending. I've forgotten what. But Black Hole came out of nowhere, and it's been Black Hole for a while now. The same way Black Hole came out of nowhere, Whiteo is also getting ready in studio. You understand? And while you are waiting, I don't want to mention anybody's name. And while you are waiting for the next Black Hole, how he will amaze you, Whiteo will come and take all the trends. But now that Blacko's attention is at the peak, everybody's attention is at the peak for Blacko. It's when he needs to lock in this album. So that when Whiteo comes next year or whatever, album day back, it's not at risk of being...
So let me ask you. So let me ask you then, hold on.
And then at that point, right, he can choose to do his EP.
He can choose, and he can always come back to being the Blacko you love.
What point in time is right for an artist to release an album, and what is the purpose of that album? Is it because of awards recognition, as I have had albums in this day and age and the times we are in?
No, so I mean, at the end of the day, he's giving you a lot of singles. Enough for an EP. Take it down at that point, right? Because he has like, let's say 4, 5, 6 songs, which could make an EP.
Yeah.
So leave it at that point. Now he feels like he has a lot of audience, which we all know the whole Ghana is listening to Black Sherif.
Yeah.
Now he has fans in the States and everywhere, right? Which his team has those.
And in Africa's biggest music market, Nigeria.
His song is currently on the charts in Nigeria, right? So it's right, like I said, if he's looking for new audience, an EP would have done justice to whatever he wanted to do. But now he's past, let me just say he's past the stage of an EP.
Yes.
Because you can't come and give me 4 songs for all the weight. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
but since you have a lot of artists, you've done numbers. He was Shazam's #1 artist a few months back. How many artists even in Ghana has gotten to that height in the world? So that's a big achievement for him, and he needed to capitalize. I think his team was like, Charlie, EP need the end of EP, a mom project.
Like it was about time.
Sit a bit and tour. Because at the end of the day, you can't tour on 10 tracks.
And you can't perform. Yeah. You see, the consumption of the music is also an issue. Now he can hold his own show. He has enough content to be able to drive your own business, more or less.
Which I can confirm for you, he has a show in December.
Exactly. You see?
Yeah. And you know, with what we talked about, the anticipation and the fact that he's already built that audience. And I agree with you 100%. This is not a point for him to now come and give us an EP.
Yeah, they come in cuddling us.
Yeah, we waited for too long for Blacko to give us an EP. And an album at this point is only right. Also, now it's evident what the Villain I Never Was album is doing. If you look at the Ghana Apple Music top 100, he's in the first 14. So people have waited. People are consuming. And then we'll also go back to saying that it depends on the artist. Right? The consumption, exactly. The consumption strongly depends on the artist.
We're missing out on a lot of things, right? Like, what about Kiddy? Kiddy is also big. Some would say Kiddy might be bigger than Blacko in Ghana. It's arguable. Say Cheese, Champagne, all these things. Now, but Kiddy gave us a 4-track EP.
But not to say he doesn't have albums.
No,
he does
what
have
I'm saying
albums.
is that the same dynamics that we used to just justify.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you guys to settle down and let me throw that bombshell in there.
So it's the same dynamics that Kiddy finds himself in, but he released an EP. And that, for
Kiddy
that,
has albums already.
No, apart from that, I think the genre also plays attention.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Go in.
For example, right? You can choose to do whatever you want, like I said, as an artist. However you feel you want to move. At the end of the day, a lot of artists, some artists haven't released albums before, even to date. Right?
Yeah.
Their comfort zone is to give a bit of, product to their audience to enjoy. And then stay with it for a while. And that is what a lot of people like to do. Some people don't have the bandwidth, like I said, to be in the studio to record a 14-track album or even a 10-track and put it out. They feel like their storytelling powers is up to 7 songs or less.
Yeah.
That's what they can do. So sometimes in our minds as consumers, we shouldn't put pressure on the artist. That is when you go and hear Obama Dawasi on a track which is like 10. A full Obama Dawasi on 10 tracks, which nobody requested for. You see, but
not everybody's a storyteller.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a lot of passive music that we consume for the vibes, for the feel, for the jamming of it, for the shaking of it, and we love it. It doesn't take anything away from you to be an artist who is just providing that momentary joy.
Yeah. Some people also release singles. Some people don't even have EPs.
Yeah.
I also think that maybe the timing too is what's if the timing is also being considered.
Yeah.
So usually the artists will maybe give you a few singles and then give you like an EP, then an album. So it feels like that is like a standard of some sort, but it's not like it's not something that you can really follow because maybe if I release 3 singles now and then I decide to in the plans, like the strategy is to release an EP, but then the time I want to release the EP, the kind of fans, what I am getting, like Blacko, the way Blacko is getting the attention and everything, maybe the team gets back and they go like, you know what, the EP, instead of doing an EP, let's add more songs to it and then just make it an album because now you have their attention. So let's just give them a full-length body, body of work. Yeah, so it could also be that, during in the process, like they planned that they will drop an EP. It's possible, and then
we'll be going back to the screens to continue with the overlays we're watching. For those on Plus 89.9 FM, we'll tell you the visuals on the screen as well. But we got to Songs of Peter and checking out the track list on there, and that's on the screens now for those who are live on 3 Music TV. Well, yes, that was an intro and runs through all the way to about 13 songs of Peter. Also, this one, I haven't had a chance to soak in everything. I don't know if you have, but no. I think
I have a keen observation though when you're done.
Okay. Main Kwan, Big Head, Believe Everything, quite a number of songs in there.
And he kept like one producer also.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly.
And this
that's exactly what I was going to talk about.
Sometimes it works, right? Because at the end of the day, you'd want somebody you can trust.
Someone who knows your sound.
Close your eyes and be like, okay, this person knows what we are doing, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's very good to do that.
I think that also when it comes to documentations too, it's also part of it because it's a whole long process.
Also, from a creative perspective, it might be a limitation to the diversity of your sound.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And it's a risk.
So it has pros and cons.
It's a big risk.
Sometimes because, again, let me take it up a bit, right? Drake and Future has had one producer since time.
Yeah. You see, but the producer himself that they've had is diverse and versatile.
No, so that is where we have to bring in. So we don't have to make people feel like, okay, having one producer is a bad thing, right?
The producer has to be,
has to evolve.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to play Kukumcha every day.
Would you say TNIVWBAB? I'm just
the villain I never was.
The villain that I never was.
Yeah.
Album is a classic album. And what will be your definition?
It will
of classic?
become.
It might.
Yeah.
It might. For now, it's just a project out that we are soaking in.
Consuming, yeah.
Mary wasn't an instant classic.
Yeah. I also don't think that you can use...
It's a classic because now, 2 things, right?
At what point? Like,
for me,
Mary was like yesterday.
2 things. 2 things,
Mary,
right?
Mary was like 2016.
No, I'm being...
okay.
I'm being a long time ago. Now, we're calling it a classic because Sarkodie went out of his comfort zone to make something that was a request from the grandmom. Right?
Pour out his heart.
Yeah, and did that. 1. And it's a song that everybody of all ages enjoy, right? As a Ghanaian community, let me just put it that way. So it's a classic because we all enjoy it. It doesn't age, and it's still relevant to this day.
Let me give you something.
On that Mary album.
Yeah.
Ade chimbia ba nipa hemwa penina koshre makola ni kejitia kiti ebi tone ebi via. Do you remember that?
Obrafo.
That's Obrafo example. That's why it's a classic. Because till today, everything I just said still resonates out there in town.
So
the rap is still
classic,
on point. My classic is that the art lives beyond its era. And you can't have that definition with it ages gracefully.
And still,
you understand?
Mary has that capacity.
Does Mary have it?
Yes.
Give me one.
Is it living beyond its capacity?
All time.
Do people talk about it?
What song?
I feel
So the thing is, now, define classic. Classic is for me as a fan, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Of Sarkodie. I feel like that project is something that
I'd go with Mache.
I'm coming. I didn't expect. It came to me. I enjoyed it from an artist who's a rapper.
The Mary album.
You know, Boga Boga in the air is still relevant today.
Yes, it's a
on
classic.
that merit alone, I'll give the album
so
a classic.
That'll be a classic to you.
It's a classic also, right? But I'm saying that the body of work, Mary, is still relevant today to a lot of people who enjoyed it at that time. It doesn't have to be a classic to somebody who's in SHS right now. It varies. Classics vary to ages. Sometimes to it's an era.
Yeah.
Was Pizza and Burger or Burger and Pizza on an album?
I think it was a single.
Pizza.
I'm not very sure about that.
With
Let's check Psychology. Maybe it might be on
I think Sarkodie's hardest album has on him now to carry is the Mary album. I think it's been one of the most difficult albums for him to you know, because he had been pushing it
to outdo.
Right? No. I'm talking about. It was probably either because it was a high life album.
Yeah.
The fan base who are coming from a very Gen Z, you know, probably couldn't resonate with that Sarkodie.
You see.
But to a certain generation,
exactly.
It's
what I said about him being on top of the mountain. It's time for him to reach out of his comfort zone. And again. And that is what he tried to do.
A pop album, man.
Bro, there's nothing wrong with it. Lil Wayne has a rock album. And the rock album, I think he has 1 Grammy off the album, right?
Yeah.
Lil Wayne has a rock album and the whole world went,
No, I think it's about evolution.
Three music. We will give him 3 music. Pop
The
album of the year,
evolution of an artist is also really important because you have to be able to
we'll get into
evolve
that as well.
across the different generations to be able to stay relevant and not just say that, oh, I'm making a song or a body of work for this particular generation, and then it doesn't go beyond that generation. That's how come today we can sit here and still make a reference to.
You said Mary had a high life touch.
Yeah.
Is that like a high life thing?
Project.
Exactly. So the guy is not a high life guy. The guy is a rapper.
He's
Every
a
now and
versatile
then,
artist.
no. Not to take away from his versatility.
Yeah.
But as much like, how do I say it?
We don't see him as a high life artist.
Yeah, we get it.
You get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Get it.
Great. We don't see him. His brand is not high life. I'm never wearing this again. And it has nothing to do with fruit. It has nothing to do with fruit. Google is your friend. Google is your friend. If you Google it, you realize the t-shirt, the papua. So he's not known as a high life guy.
No.
It's something that he tried to go into and express his talent in a different way. So that's Genesis on a new path.
No,
right?
and we forget that it was a request.
It was
a request.
Sometimes you don't always do that. Sometimes
by
your fans,
the grandmother, because the grandmother wasn't the fan of Sarkodie, the rapper.
So then it's a personal project. There's a personal project.
It was a dedication.
Yeah, because he dedicated it to his grandma. Yeah,
it was a dedication.
So dedicating it and doing it without consideration for anyone else but your mother it's two different things. No, it's not selfish.
Yeah, okay.
He can make a song album for his grandmother, his mother, whoever he loves. He has the right 200%, right? But all I'm saying is that the moment you do that, right, it's no longer based on competitive structuring. It's no longer based on positioning. You understand? Because the year that you released a high life album for grandma, and sentimentally we'll all say, oh, everybody else was releasing something else. So when the comparison happens and awards considerations and conversations like these come up, you are in a box that only you are in.
I don't see it that way.
How do you see it?
I see it as the way I'm feeling. Drake, by this time, I'm telling people that he's cooking an Amapiano project in his basement right now. It doesn't make him an Amapiano artist.
Yeah, but you see, Drake from day one.
It is how he feels,
bro,
at a certain time. For example,
I don't agree with that.
Jay, tell me that you weren't expecting drill music on The Villain. I never was.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of drill music.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me,
bro.
Yeah, I mean,
but then he gave us what he wanted to put out.
Bro,
at the end of the day,
with Drake from day one, we've not been able to put Drake in a box. Drake came out with a laid-back rap R&B style. Everybody's like, oh, this is new.
But then
Drake came on hardcore rap and killed rappers. And then Drake was on pop. And then Drake was on dance music. And then Drake was singing choruses. And then Drake comes back and kills other rappers. So Drake has never been in
but
this
we
box.
Ghanaians now are putting Black Sherif in the box as a drill rapper. Who
have you
not?
listened to
You
the
see,
album?
So that is what I was okay.
Yeah. So like you asked, so the thing is, so what makes an album a classic? Like what will make the album
if it transcends time,
longevity,
it's time,
the quality,
good.
And
then
longevity.
Again, at the end of the day, the era, right?
Cool.
That was released in can say, okay,
this is our classic.
It's our classic.
Okay.
We don't care about if you are 15 years now and you think Mary is trash. Okay, thank you very much. We'd enjoy it with a cocktail
when the song lays on its own.
All right. So then we were talking about the villain.
That never was. Yeah.
That never was. I never was.
Good.
Sorry. So is that a classic album? That was now.
Yeah,
it can become.
Can you?
It will become.
We don't know yet.
Good.
It can.
So then it means that you cannot use. When did it drop? When did it come out? I think it was like
6th October.
Some days ago.
6th October, yeah.
So then I think you would have to at least, we cannot really
5 days
give
ago.
it some time.
Yeah, that's why I said
it's a lot of time.
That's what we are saying. That
it has the potential.
So then
because we keep saying it can or it will become. It's because of the consumption. It's because of how people are reverberating.
You know your middle finger was pointing at me, right?
Really? I'm sorry. I apologize.
It was intentional. She said she'd do it in the morning. Honestly, when I came in the morning, she said I should watch out for it. Well done. You did it.
No, you know I was counting my fingers, right? You know
you said you do it.
You know I was counting my fingers.
On the more serious, what she was saying, right? It can become. It can. It's not yet, right? But it can.
It has the possibility.
Yeah, we have to wait and see if it stands the test of time.
Yes, if we pick up that album in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and we still feel the same way, then we stamp it classic.
So now the make of a classic album, and that's something I also want to put up. I want to find out about artists and the perception based on your experience. The making of an album. Now, I don't know, but back in the day when we heard, I stand to be corrected, when we heard maybe like a Lumba was bringing an album out, you hadn't heard any song on the album yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Till it was released.
Yes.
Then boom, that gave you a test of the artist's skill, talent, to be able to present you with a new song, package it nicely, put on an album, and deliver.
Yeah.
And some of those albums have stood the test of time, so they became classic to us. Now, let's come to today. The artists that we have are releasing singles. And that's why I'm coming to Black Sherif again. Releasing singles. And then realizes that, you know what? Ooh, guess what? I've got like 4 hit songs already. You know what? Let me just package and
more than 4 though.
I'm coming. I've got 4 hit songs. At the point I had 4 hit songs.
Okay.
You know what? I think if I add on some extra 3 or 4 or 7 more with, at least I will have an album with hit songs on it. Then they package it and they release it to us an album. Are artists living in the fear of daring themselves to present songs we haven't heard before, package it like back in the day, put it on an album, release it, and it has nothing to do with what I released in the past?
A lot of people have done it.
Yeah.
I think J. Cole did it and went
so let's come home. Please, you are going there. I beg you.
Okay,
Shout to Steph, my producer. He's out there giving us.
So the problem with that now is because of the marketing ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us more about it.
Yeah, so for example, if an artist wants to market their song, and then listen to this, the first week numbers are very important.
Okay.
To everybody now, and to every label, because it's a competition.
Yeah.
They want market. So before I would release an album or EP, and I have even 7 songs, I'll try and drop my first single.
To tease
everybody and let everybody know that this is what is coming out. To make my numbers for that particular song, it doesn't count as the first week numbers.
Okay.
Now, I might drop the second one to just say, hey, this is the second song to expect, like, the second feel of the project. Or I might drop the whole project after the first song, just to amass a lot of numbers for my my project. It's a competition now.
Okay, so that becomes strategy.
It takes away from the feel of dropping the whole cassette.
Yeah.
Right, it takes away from that feel for now, but then like I sent an airdrop right now of Black Sherif's Spotify first week numbers.
It's doing so well.
He broke a lot of day records Spotify Ghana records.
Let me be the devil's advocate again. I mean, I shouldn't have limited us to only Ghana, but let me go to what DJ Khaled did. Did we have a feel of it before it came out? No.
What God did.
See,
DJ Khaled, he played almost the songs on Instagram for us.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you see, the difference is that attention has now been monetized. In the past, attention was not monetized for the consumer. Your attention didn't mean anything. That Lumba could go lost for 4 years.
And come back and
drop an album. But the celebrity factor was so big that when he reappeared, that fire was able to sustain our attention. Yeah. But now attention has been monetized to every second. That if you are not engaging the consumer, somehow studio session, leak, snippet, single, blah, 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 you lose out on that monetization. And everybody's trying to earn. So if Black Sherif had disappeared and came back in 2024 January with this album, bro, raw numbers.
Yeah.
That time White Sherif come a long time.
Yeah, and it adds
different person would have come and taken the thing.
Exactly.
But that Lumba or Brafo, Kechi Apia, Kojo Entry, everybody, even our Samini, TikTok and Co. They were not always releasing singles. They had like one big hit in the year, would jump that hit, then maybe the next year they say, oh, Charlie, this person, Batman bring album.
Yeah.
Then we all rush and go and consume the album.
Now, it seems like we are using Black Sherif as a case study, but let me also just still on Black Sherif with his The Villain I Never Was album, right? You see that, like Maxwell said, he gave us his Second Sermon remix with Burna Boy, which is the only feature on that album, right? And then there's Kweku the Traveler on that album as well. Then there's the Soldier on it as well. But you realize that all these three have also added up to the 70 million that the album did in just the first. It was just the next day.
Yeah.
It was the next day after the album was released. So I think it adds up. And like Maxwell said, it's a competitive market now. Exactly. So you have to make it work. And then it's a numbers
game for all these distributors. Okay. Forget what anybody tells you. If you are signed to a distributor or a label, Sony wants to show everybody that. Yeah.
They've got the...
When Asake broke all the records on Apple Music, Empire was like, now every artist wants to sign on to Empire. So it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game.
And we've also forgotten about the artist chartability, not the songs. We always, when we are doing our trivia and all that, it's the song charted one. Song charted this. The song charts are very quote-unquote fickle, right? Because it's about mass hailing. So when you drop a song and there's an amplification and everybody rushes to even...
It doesn't give a true reflection of
the artist.
Did I like it or did I
exactly.
like it? Yeah.
So even out of curiosity...
I was coming to that,
even out of curiosity, we all go and the song charted and we're great. But until you can consistently chart, it's consistent charting of your songs. That causes the charting of your music brand. Yeah. So when they say the artist is the number one streamed artist in Africa. That means that consistently everything that artist put out has either been top 2 or top 3 on the song charts. And for that artist to be elevated to that level, you need to be giving out singles and all that. So imagine, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, because what are the odds that if you release an album, boom, here are 10 tracks. They are going to chart so well on the song chart to elevate you from number 5,000 on Spotify to number. You get what I'm saying? So there's a strategy to it. That's what I'm saying, that attention has been monetized. The system changed. So artists are not just creating music now. They are executing strategy, and the music is just the camouflage.
It's a war.
Everything Black Sherif is doing now, we will just, the link is the link that scream up. By the strategy, they know the next step, the next 5 steps. If A becomes B, then we'll use 5. If C becomes D, we are going red. Everything is on a piece of paper somewhere on a PowerPoint. Trust me.
Even with what he did with his, before he released the album, he did a snippet, right? A video snippet that brought all the songs together in quick succession. I haven't seen, I don't know if anyone, I stand to be corrected.
Because innovation is needed.
I haven't seen anyone in Ghana do that yet. Yeah. And that video blew.
You mean like shooting a shot?
He did.
Video.
No, he did snippets, like a video that had snippets of all or most of the songs, the major songs on the album, and he put that out that we should anticipate like the body of work, right? Which was new, because I'm like, wow.
Didi did a private listening party for one of his old albums where they played everything back. They played the video and the audio back in reverse. So, but in playing it back in reverse, you saw all the big names that were there at the listening party. And that alone cracked the release. He trended as an artist. He charted as an artist. The song chart, the album charted as an album, and like 4 or 5 of the songs were on the song chart. Okay, so the strategy be the whole game.
So I understand that. I mean, this is a masterclass, so there's so much to learn. I understand that there are no, like what Cyril is saying. I mean, the dynamics will determine the strategy and what you should. Let's build a new artist from scratch. Who wants to pick a Grammy? Okay, no, let me not even say he wants to pick a Grammy. He wants to pick a 3 music awards.
Yeah,
forget your Grammy, no. Yeah. So the artist is an upcoming artist, and let me. I love to be practical. So let's pick maybe. I don't know if you know. I like using him.
Use me.
No, you don't have a song out yet.
I'm working on it.
Who was that?
Bruce. He does palm wine music. Yeah.
Okay, so let's use Coffee Bruce. Oh, I would want to listen to it. Yeah, I like palm wine music.
We'll give you free consultation. Let's go.
When you say palm wine music, let's understand it properly.
So with the whole high life.
You know, like what Kwampa does. Kwampa. Yeah, that's palm wine music.
The Ebos. Back in the days, like culture, he uses the fetua. Yeah. So the like that.
So African music.
I'd want to listen to that.
Instrument.
I'd want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Hey. No, I like. You should. I think I'm very in touch with
the way you
Jay,
react to other.
We are I don't know why. I don't know why you keep falling for this thing. I tell you, say the morning Tia come. She said Jay. I don't know why you keep falling for it. Bro,
no, but I've asked you to also share with me some songs and some albums. Boy. It's the same way I'm asking her to share.
This guy liked it.
And especially being palm wine music, I want to
like to watch some of my old presenting shows.
Jay, I would want to watch it.
Like Jay,
I watch you on Foresight most of the time.
Should I send you the picture where we are both wearing parachutes?
I've said this to you before,
and then they are giving me signs.
Should I send you the picture where we are both wearing parachutes?
Please send it to me.
What's the name of this guy's Stormzy's album? Was Science and Gang Signs and
Prayers.
Give me Gang Signs
and Prayers.
I nearly lost my line of thought. So let's use
Coffee Bruce. He came out just last year. Okay. I brought him outdoored him last year.
Nice.
So so far he has what we like to call 3.5 songs. Because he released an intro. So the plan was that he would release an intro into the music industry. Okay. So the title is Akwaba.
Okay.
So if you listen to Akwaba, it's just a minute.
Okay, great. So now I'm asking, how should such an artist grow his music from, and you mentioned mixtapes, and I don't want us to forget that, grow from singles to demos to
all of that.
EPs to albums? How should it work for the artist?
Trust me, there's no format.
There's no format.
Yes.
There is no so there's been this format that came out that Mavins used, where they don't drop singles of the project. They introduce the artist to you as a full package, like the cassette artist. They did a Rema, 4 songs, a compilation, and an album, right? So the artist can introduce different versions of themselves to you. Some artists would like to do the normal way, drop the singles, test the waters, see what people like, fine tune their sound and whatever. Yeah. There is no format at the end of the day. The only format that's there is your team, your budget, the use of social media,
your goals,
and how you can capture people's attention. Because at the end of the day, 2 seconds, I scroll.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a good question coming in that. So for an artist like Coffee Bruce, what budgets are we talking about? What should be his ideal budget to be able to push himself to a
half-year budget?
Like a half-year budget.
Roughly, I would ask her, what's the plan? So what's the year budget?
Yeah,
what's the year plan looking like?
That's why I jumped in and said half-year budget, because assuming we are starting from scratch, there are some things that are non-starters. You need to introduce him, you need to start building a following, and then you need to track that following and amplify whatever you're putting out. And that should take you about 6 months. So into that half year, you do an analysis and audit of the brand, and then based on that, you might need a full year budget from that half year to the next 18
Yes, so what's the plan? What are you guys doing? What's the brand like?
Yeah.
So, for example, some of the brands, Kiddies had a brand of a Bad Boy, Playboy,
Lover Boy.
Right, Lover Boy,
more like.
What's the brand like? So, do you guys have a brand strategist who's building that brand around him? Well, how much that budget? So you have to like have a plan,
Yeah.
essentially, to know how much it will cost to raise the artist. What's the marketing budget looking like? What is even photo shoot, video shoot, how the video is going to look like?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all has to be planned first before you know how much it will cost at the end of the day. So let's say roughly, if it's costing you guys the whole year like $100,000 to push the particular artist, right?
Yeah.
That might be how much they will need. And if they don't raise that, they can't execute their plan and then water it down, and then the artist will become,
Okay, so you've spoken about strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how important as well is team spirit, creativity, and then also the availability of the artist to be able to take instructions as an up-and-coming artist for all of these things to hold and stand firm?
Okay, so with Kofi, for instance, so far Kofi Bruce has not been it's not been difficult because I'm a creative and he's also a creative. So then we do all these things. We sit down, plan. I tell him, okay, so this is what we are looking at for the year. This is what we are looking at for this, blah blah blah. So in case something like this happens, let's say we are looking at other songs. So far we have 3 songs. That's the Aketesia, Mata Mata, and Philomena. Now you notice that all these titles are about girls.
Women.
Yeah, I mean names of ladies, because Aketesia is a lady, a young lady.
Yeah.
Then Mata Mata, yeah. So now when we were dropping Aketesia as his debut, the plan was that, okay, to us, we're like, Aketesia is a very good song. It will go whatever. It will make all the waves. Okay, we dropped it. I mean, it was just to test the waters and all of that. Then we dropped Mata Mata, and then it also got its. It's like every time we drop, there's something new. Like maybe he gets new fans or he gets like new conversations. Because
there's a new discovery,
there's a massive build-up.
Yes.
So there's this growth.
So he's building his exploration fans.
Yeah, exactly. So then we dropped Philomena. But then I went to look at it and I realized that from the back end, people are resonating with Mata Mata, which was the second one, that dropped more. They are engaging more with Mata Mata. So now we will have to. This is where we sit down and then.
So all these are singles.
Yeah, all these are singles.
So you're looking forward to getting into an EP. An EP.
Yeah, but in as much as is a single, so I was coming to that, the EP and the albums. So in as much as they are singles, now there's a catch. He's a project artist. Like we are putting him out there as more of a project artist because all his songs are. Story based. So Aketesia is a throwback of an old man. There's a young lady passing, and then it takes him back into the times. He's trying to tell you that don't think I'm an old man, that I used to have game back in the days, And then Mata Mata comes in, where he was a national service personnel, and he had a case. Mata brought him Mata. You get it. Then now Philomena is when he was married, and then there's this church girl, Criff, like disturbing him in the
so there's a progression.
So there's a progression. So if you put the 3 songs as singles, they are singles on their own, stories on their own. But if you bring them together, it's a collection. Yeah,
right.
That's like a project, and it could go as an EP. On Apple Music, I think they have. iTunes. There's this part where they see certain singles together as an EP. And if you put them, so something like that, the price would be, if you are selling it, they would give you the price of, I think an album price.
Okay.
Am I?
Yeah. It makes so much sense.
So then, so we have those 3, they're singles, and then it's like, it can be an EP of some sort. But out there, since he's an emerging artist, people are now discovering him and all of that. So there's a plan for an EP where it's a story of 4 to 5 songs. Tappers joint.
So you call it an extended play.
Tappers joint.
Extended play.
Why is it an extended play when it's rather the short one?
So extended play basically is an extension of you. Let me just put it that way, right? You have a body of work which is an album, an LP, right? An LP is longer. But extended play is like a short story, like I said again. An LP is the album. Which
So
is
basically,
like 14 tracks.
and actually, an EP is supposed to be after an LP.
No,
not necessarily. Not necessarily.
The LP is long play.
You see, the LP is more.
But then again, now
the LP is an album.
Yeah, there is even.
I'm saying that
there's
after
even.
you've heard my album.
Yeah.
In the weight of my next album, I drop an EP.
No, but then again, there is another one.
That's the strategy people are using now.
Yeah,
but
there's
that's not
another
what
one
was meant
called
for.
a deluxe version now.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
extras and heard
Yeah,
verses,
so if you drop
extended verses.
if you dropped like a 14 track, you can add 6 more or 4 more to deluxe, and the strategy is for re-streaming purposes.
Yeah.
So all these other extensions now have just been created as marketing strategies for the artists.
So
to
strategy
be able
wins.
To, so basically, it's like there's no real. Let me not say value.
There is value.
No,
There's value. The value has just shifted from creative value.
It's like I'm selling
to business
eggs,
value.
and basically
To
have a
being
crate.
the value.
I
I was happy about,
but I also have a crate of 6.
Yeah,
I was happy about something she said. Right?
Yeah.
it's SKUs.
I was happy about something she said. Look at the back end.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you a lot of artists in this country don't have access to the Apple Music for artists or Spotify for artists, which is showing them.
Wow.
Which is showing
I thought
them.
they had it.
A lot of
No,
them
you have
knew
to-
about
you
it,
have to request,
but they don't have it.
Is it difficult to get it?
Oh, no. Just have your Apple ID, log in, claim your account. A lot of people haven't claimed their accounts, even big name artists that had contacts some time ago to tell them,
wow,
claim your page, right? So, for example, I have a back end of someone here, and then I can tell you how much, what playlist they are in, what's their milestones looking like, Shazams. All these things come to play for you, the artist, to be able to market your music at the end of the day. Okay, where is my music being played the most? Here, the person's back end, Ghana is number 1, Nigeria is number 2, United States 3, United Kingdom 4, Canada 5. Now, how do I direct my marketing? Okay, it's doing well in Ghana. Let me put more in Ghana. It's doing well in Nigeria. Let's go and do some radio runs and then do some media press like Kelvin Boy did when Down Flats came.
Yeah, he moved.
They saw that it's doing well over there, so they moved. A lot of people don't have people on their teams who are reading this analytics.
Now, it bothers me when you say that, right? It bothers me when you say some very known and big artists don't have the back end to their Spotify and their Apple. Can you take us through the process, the specific procedure? Because for all you know, they are not aware what they can do. Exactly.
Okay.
And so they'll just have the regular.
It's like saying before he answers, it's as saying we are as ignorant as, do you check your analytics on your post on IG?
Exactly. It's not everybody. Exactly. It's not everybody that will do that. So please, just do us the honor of taking us through, and then for the sake of the people listening, so that if you're an artist, no matter how big or small you are, you know that I need the back end to Apple Music or to Spotify.
Okay, so it's basically go to Google or go to your search engine, search for Apple Music for artists, right? And then they'll ask you to sign in. So basically, if you have an Apple ID already, you just sign in. When you sign in, you get a back end that looks like this. Oh, I can't.
Oh, yeah, we can't put it on the screen, though. But anyway,
but I mean, you get something like this, right?
Okay. Well, yeah,
and
you can actually hold it. If you pass the phone around, you can just hold it to the screen. No, you have to give it
behind
to
you. Post it there. There we go.
To you. No, to you. Actually, to
you.
So you see something like this.
So you know what?
Put it close to your mic. Put it close to your mic. Yeah.
Something like this. You see something like this,
okay,
right?
You've covered it.
Because I think that's one artist, which makes sense.
There are some artists
for black hole.
For black hole. There's some new artists that I'm looking at the analytics to advise them, right?
Great.
Okay.
And then you see some here as request artist access.
Okay.
So when you get there, you click on it, you search for your name.
Okay.
So when you search for your name, your picture won't come, but you see
the profile.
Or they will say type in a music or your song. So when you click on your song, it will take you to the profile. Then you can claim it. They'll ask you additional questions like what's your social media, blah blah, some information just to make sure that you are the person who's claiming the page. Yeah. So when you do that, it'll go to pending, and then they'll say add your image to it, and then boom. In like 5 days, a good 5 days,
you should get your analytics.
If you have a problem, I mean, you can link me. I'll help with the support to get the account claimed. And then that's when you see artists having their pictures over there on Apple Music. Right. Some of the artists don't, so you don't get to see their music. You get to see some album cover there because that's the first song they released when they used DistroKid. And then they created the account, so they don't have a picture over there. So you can see their first release, the cover art. That's the thing there. So if you don't claim your account, you're not able to get a lot of features. Like you can't get an essential from Apple Music. So essentials are basically your most played songs or your fan favorites. You can get one created for you. You can have a profile where they put where you are from. Like for example, like your man here has this picture over there. He can change it whatever he wants. If you go down, you can see about him over there. You can see the genre he does. There are more features that he needs to add. Similar artists to him. You can go to Yao. There's Yao Tog here. Also claims his account, and that's the benefit of having.
Let's talk about this guy for a split second.
So there are benefits of having like a good team or a distributor who has knowledge in building something like this for you and making sure that you have everything. So, for example, if you go here, you see that Yao Tog did the Dotty show. He was on Najeska. You get to see a lot of things
about that.
So if you don't claim your page, you are as much as not even getting money. I'm not sure how you get paid if you don't claim your page.
True.
So if you are saying you are getting your music from money,
and you get to know where. I mean, you get your data, the analytics. So you get to know where your song is really being played, and then how to market. Get your marketing towards that side. So
Yao Tog popped up in there. He hasn't released an album or has he released an EP?
Yeah, he has. I think he dropped an album in 2021 called Time.
Okay.
And it had 7 songs. Like I said, like you can have 7 songs and call it an album.
So he released an album last year.
Yeah.
Now, so let's come back to the Times and Seasons. For an artist like Yao Tog. I mean, last year he skyrocketed with his remixes and Stormzy's involvement and all the whole America vibe. Yeah. Was it an ideal time for him to have released an album?
For me, it's a 7.
Or people wanted a bit more of Yao Tog of singles. Before.
So for me, it was a 7-song album. So it's not really a stretch, right, from an EP. It's just an additional song to call it an album, and it had. What do you call it? He had remix, on there. So basically, it's just 6 songs with an addition of that remix song, right? So it's a good time.
Hey, your advice, was it right for you to
it was a good time.
An album at that time?
It was a good time.
Maybe more singles
a lot of people want to call it, but call it an EP. But he chose to call his 7 songs an album, which
I don't think it was a good time.
No, for me. Right, if you had called it an EP, also, it could have been 7 songs.
You see, from the technical point you are saying, right, you're making perfect sense, and I agree with you. But your brand needs to align with the strategy, and Yao Tog's brand was not at the place where anybody was expecting him to be an album artist. We were still very excited with the singles. We were ready to see him grow and be a part of that growth with him, and that's what singles would have done magnificently for him. 2-3 other solid singles, then an EP, then we see the maturity, then you crown it to for a brand. Yeah. That is what everybody's subconscious was expecting. So he jumped the gun a bit to go straight to album, because now that kills my excitement for singles. You can still come up with a single and wow me, right? I mean, but you need to think of the psychology of the consumer as well.
And for Yao Tog, I think that he should have, like he said, right, he should have given us more of himself, because then at that point he didn't have so many of even his own songs that we could pinpoint.
I think the biggest, the introductory song was a feature, right? He was like, there was lots of them on the song.
Yeah, the Kumerica. It was one of the Kumerica songs. It was one of the Kumerica songs.
It was Sorry.
Sorry.
And then after Sorry, there was the whole brouhaha with him and the rest of the guys.
And then he moved away.
The rest of them were not on the remix with what's his face.
So that's why I asked
Stormzy
and all that. That's why I asked the question. And when you answered that there was no format, I a bit of disagreed, but I still wanted to push to find out if there's
it depends on the artist.
There's no format.
Because there should be a certain it's not cast in stone strategy, but there should be a certain
guiding wisdom,
a guide, you know, for because Yao Tog. we are saying now that, like what Cyril is saying, that, you know, we should have gotten another extra from him to identify the kind of artist he is. Then he would give us more of what he has shown us.
Jay, so let's blame it on poor management.
You know, so
agreed.
No, let's blame it on poor management again. So like I said, there is no format. There's no laid down format saying that when you come, you know, 4-3-3, you know, play this kind of football.
Do it this way.
No. Again, I would make an example again.
Should the format then be?
I'll make an example again.
As an artist, let me put enough songs. No number. No. Let me put enough songs. I'm coming. I'm coming. As an artist, maybe I put one song out and it goes so viral that the demand is high for me, so it's fine. I mean, to be very honest, y'all talking Burna Boy, it will surprise you that the when I really experienced a Burna Boy time was the 2016.
Tonight and the other songs.
Tonight. Yeah. After that, I didn't hear of. For me, I didn't hear of Burna Boy ever again.
Bro, the winning formula.
Ever again till Burna Boy's African Giants. Till I saw a video that went. I'm coming. Till a video that went.
They're coming for a long time.
Jay didn't get that.
He didn't get it. When he watches the stream again, you go ahead.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said it for the last 5 minutes.
I heard Burna Boy again when the making of that African Giant album, and that's when it started popping on the algorithm was bringing him to my timeline again.
Yes.
Okay.
So do you know how the algorithm ended up in your time?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm sure probably. I mean, no, I'm not coming, bro. But I'm sure.
He's finished.
There is some work being done, so it's ripe for him to work on whatever is next. Anyway, so coming back to it, that's what I'm asking for. What would be an ideal guideline for a Kofi Bruce? You know that maybe for a Kofi Bruce, let me drop songs till I get an audience big enough to understand my music. Then I can say, let me move on to my next stage, which might be an EP, or let me just go for the album straight. But because we didn't hit, he or she, maybe like y'all talk, didn't know, management, because they didn't know the guideline or the formula to this thing. We can't say there's no formula.
No, there's no formula. The formula is to have a team who knows how to read the room every
and strategize
day. Because the landscape is so versatile, bro.
I always say this about Mr. Easy, where people are like, Mr. Easy's format was just simple. Create music, capture an audience, which he started from universities. Yeah. Capture an audience. Those audience would always spill over from school to outside. They would get the money to come and buy tickets. When they did Dirty Wave, the first one, we that were in the campuses listening to his music bought the tickets to his Dirty Wave, and then now moved on from Africa to the UK, build, and now he's a global superstar. That's another format. But then not everybody can execute that, because a lot of people have tried. Again, there's that Rema format, which Mavins has used for a lot of their artists. Rema came, they dropped a 4-song EP. That's Rema. They had Connie and all those songs on there. Another four. They gave us a compilation. The compilation basically is all the 4, right? EPs they dropped. And then, fast forward, they gave us a project. That's an album, right? But it's very expensive to execute those plans. Then again, budget is a factor to your plans. So now, to a Kofi Bruce, right? If they had an investment of, let's say, $100,000, right, dollars, not even CDs, right, to execute Kofi Bruce. Now, they could find a strategist who would build a plan and say, okay, cool. I think for his music, these are the audience we should couch for him. And this is where we should push him to, because it's calculative. Anybody who tells you, drop it, go viral, it's a lie. It's calculated. And some people even sell their music, push their music into Europe. Okay. Like Wela,
let's test the two of you on this. Let's test the two of you. So what is the Kofi Bruce strategy now? I want to come back to ask you a question on it.
Yeah.
So right now, since he has that, and then we have the fan base going back to the drawing board and everything, for the next year we are looking at the EP, which is a story-based project.
Would you recommend that?
His kind of music, so I wanted to make it easy. I wanted him to be done. So when he says there's no format, he's trying to say that what will work for somebody might not work for you. Yep. Sorry. What will work for somebody might not work for you. Okay. But then basic. You are trying to say that you feel like there should be like some sort of
a calculation,
set in stone. So I think that the best thing is that there should be like a basics. Something that's
for me at the end of the day, right? If Kofi Bruce wants to release an EP today, he has 3 songs out already.
Okay.
And then
just add more.
He can add more for fans to enjoy. Let's say a 4-song EP for fans to enjoy, and then get more of Kofi Bruce.
Okay, I wish we could go on and on and on, but our time is up. We have to go. But it was just getting heated at the end. Yes, because I was going to put the two of you on the spot with that, but I'm being prompted that we have to jump out of here. But anyway, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, Annette and Max. Great insights into this conversation as well. And I'm going back to go and soak cereals. Yeah, I'm going back to go
business
and soak it.
suits and dress shoes. You love it.
Thank you so much. You out there have been an amazing audience as well, and viewers listening to us and watching us. We're back at the same time tomorrow. Coming up next on Plus 89.9 FM, we have Irene Kwafu with Lockdown. So sit back, relax, enjoy. But on 3 Music as well, enjoy some classic music clips right here on the show. My name is Jay.
Lenny.
Serial.
Have a good day.
Guava Dog.
And nice to visitors.
Gang Signs and Guava Dog. That's the next album. Gang Signs and Guava Dog.
I have something to say. On the 22nd of October, that's Saturday, Imula Sound System is having another edition of our sound system of 5 DJs. So if you're a lover of dance music, any kind of music, just come through, come and have fun.
Where?
Front back.
Front back.
Yeah. So it's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So we'll be there like 3.
Yeah. No. If you come at 3, you will miss it.
We have to go. We have to go.
Kofi Bruce releasing Visualizer Philomena. Please go to his YouTube channel, Kofi Bruce Official. Yeah, Philomena.
Thank you very much.